You're listening to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
Hey, bro!
What's up, bro?
Here we go, bro! So what's going on, guys?
So what's going on with you, bro?
Oh, so hey, welcome back to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast, bro.
So what else is
Louis,
going on, bro?
So what else is going on?
Nah,
So
nothing.
what else?
What else?
So how you doing, Louis? Can't do that.
We
We
gotta wait till Chuckles
retires to get him
Glad you
on,
get that guy on. Oh my god.
Well,
Hey, bro, I'm retired now,
Oh,
bro.
Petey,
Come on.
Petey.
Hey, bro. I just put my paper in, bro. All right, we're back. Welcome to another exciting 2-hour fun-filled packed show at the kitchen table, a firehouse kitchen table, because we're the only guys that bring that to you. A lot of guys try, but they can't. They won't. They
My
just
word.
can't do it. Nope.
My
we got,
word.
We got what hat you got on there, Ruff?
I got this getting salty.
Very nice. He's got the hat
tan one.
on. Yep, he's got the Bronx band on.
Boom.
Very nice. Beautiful.
Rocking.
Oh, where is that?
Boom. Never heard of him.
Boom.
Follow the smoke, bro.
Oh, Cheese Man's knows we're doing the Hendry. Hey, Cheese. So what's going on, Cheese? What else?
What else, cheese?
He was licking the glass when he was working in rescue too. They were saying
Yeah.
he was in the front seat licking the glass.
Hank's in the chat, bro.
Hey, Chief Cleanhouse is in the chat, too.
Oh,
bro.
Pete.
Bro.
Petey.
Hey, I didn't do the other one.
Listen, stick
that's
to the Winston guy or whatever you're doing, bro.
And another lucky strike.
Tonight's show brought to you by Red Man Chewing Tobacco.
That's not bad.
All right, fellas, we got another hard-charging Brooklyn guy. You know, he stepped outside the bounds a little bit for a little while, and then they brought him back in. Just when he thought he was out, they brought him back in. But before we get to that, Pete, why don't you give us a little shameless plug?
Well, you guys have seen the goods, but now you know where to get them when you head on over to GettinSaltyApparel.com. That's right, guys. You will find the Bronx Ben t-shirt there, Louis' hat, or perhaps this beautiful cold or hot tumbler where I'm drinking my vodka out of tonight.
Nice.
So, guys, you know the deal. If you see something you like, go get it. Firefighter apparel, firefighter accessories, cigar cutters, lighters, all that good stuff over at GettinSaltyApparel.com.
That's
Boom.
beautiful. Word of the day? We got a word of the day today?
Oh, we got it.
Yes, first.
Ooh.
We do.
Today's word of the day is crackers.
Wonder where that came from.
Oh, goodness. Well, we're about to find out.
We're about to find out. We got a captain who was in the in the hood his whole career, busy places, couple places you might recognize. I don't know. You might have heard of him. Let's bring him in, Pete. Here he is, Captain Jimmy Graham.
There it is.
How you doing, guys?
Oh, Captain Graham.
Welcome to the show.
You finally
Cap.
got him on, Coobs. You finally got him
Yeah,
on.
we got the face. We see him in the chat. The guys know him in the chat. So
Yeah.
now you got a face to him. He's down in Del Boca Vista gang right now, right? You're down in Florida.
Hey,
Perhaps, yeah.
the gang's getting bigger by the day, man. I'm going to be
Yeah,
down there
man.
next week. I should
You're
check.
missing the
Yeah.
495 special right now, is what you're saying?
Yeah. No,
That
it's
was
too
at
late.
4 o'clock. This
That's
that
4
was at
o'clock.
4 o'clock, Louis.
Yeah. Malay was at the head of the line. You kidding me?
Oh shit, that's funny.
He biked his way over there 5 miles, and then he got on the head of the line, and that's it, bro.
Oh,
Cheese.
wow. Check it out. Cheese and Rev coming in shit hot.
So
starting out
Cheese
the
already
night.
posted.
Thanks,
You guys went to high school
High
together.
school
Is that
together, huh?
correct?
You and the cheese?
We did, yeah.
You didn't wrestle him, did you?
No, Bobby was a little bit heavier weight than I was at the time. I think I wrestled at 89 pounds, and Bobby was probably 189 or something. But,
Bobby was a little husky. He was a little
Portly. We like to say portly.
beefy,
Yeah.
maybe. A little beefy.
he was the same age as my brother John, and his Bobby's brother Mike was a year behind me in high school. He's another solid guy. Yeah,
So the cheese was an Oceanside guy? Do we know that? I
yeah, he
didn't know
was.
that.
Yeah.
Holy crap! So you came, you probably slummed over in Long Beach in the summer, right? You came, went to the beach, hung out
Yeah, something
back
like
in the
that.
day.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
perhaps.
Could have been. So let's start how you got into the job, because we're going over this in the pre-show. It's pretty cool, man. Your uncle got you on the job, right? Or influenced you to get on the job?
My uncle, I was a young kid. My dad passed away when I was around 10. And, there was a firehouse in Oceanside that was a couple of blocks away from us. That's my Uncle Bill. He was on the job 31 years. But,
nice.
We would go hang around at the Oceanside Volley Firehouse, my brother and I, and Charlie Fortin, who was a lieutenant on the job, was my next door neighbor growing up. And that's the firehouse, Terrace Hose 3. And
It's still there like that?
It's still like that. Best of my knowledge is I haven't been there in years, but
right.
that was the rig. That was a 1952 Aaron's Fox. This baby was beautiful, Louis. I'm telling you.
It looks
we were
awesome.
little kids. We'd pull up. There was a little wall to the left there of the rig, and we'd park our bikes, and we'd sit there, and the guys that let us help us clean it. I was hooked. My brother was hooked. Charlie was hooked. It was just phenomenal. So it wasn't until around 18, after high school, that I joined the Volleys with my brother. He was already in there with Charlie, and had a lot of great memories there. They just had a reunion. I took my brother to the reunion. My nephew Michael is the fire commissioner there now. He's
that's
great
awesome.
guy. Yeah. So we go way back in Oceanside. But I only stayed in Oceanside for like 3 years, and then I transferred to the Rockville Center Fire Department around 1976. I had a bunch of friends over there, so
And
I
this
made
was
the move.
your Uncle
That
Bill's
was my
Proby
uncle.
class.
Yeah, my Uncle Bill. He came
what
on
a
the job
great
in 1939.
39.
That's him in the
Pre-war.
middle. That's him in the middle in the third row there, dead center. It's my dad's older brother.
He's got good hair, right? He's got the hair.
He's got
like that?
some mop of
like
hair.
it.
I didn't get those genes, Louis. But having said that, my cousin Bill gave me these photos a couple weeks back.
Dude, that's a
And,
great picture, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
When he came on the job in the 30s, late 30s, early 40s, I don't know if you guys remember, they had something at the Garden was called the Midnight Alarm.
No, I didn't know that.
And they would put on a show, putting up, ladders and simulating a
For the
fire.
people in the city or something like that?
No, these are all guys that are on a job, and guys would jump out windows into life-saving nets.
No shit.
It was. I tried to find some video on it. I was unable. I couldn't get it. I think Hashhagen might know a little bit more about it. But my Uncle Bill was involved in that early on, from what I understand. And he was in. He got assigned to 201 engine. I think you got a picture there, Peter. 201.
I sure do.
Is that the Emerald Isle? 201?
They're single engine. They're in with 114 now. I think they're a double house, but 201 was always a single engine.
Emerald Isle. They used to call it.
Is that what it was called?
201.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
want to know how, back then. I guess part of the uniform were guinea tees. They gave out.
I was going to say that, you son of a bitch.
They gave out wife beating.
I was going to say that, you son of a gun. How did you get that?
There's my Uncle Bill in the middle. He's got his hand on his
Oh,
thigh
mop
there.
of hair.
Yeah, he looks good, man. He looks like a 30s guy, like a 40s guy, right?
Yeah. He was a great guy. When I came on the job, the last day, family day, it was only 6 weeks back then in Proby School. And I said to my mom, I said, we should invite Uncle Bill to come to the family day. And he comes out, he's very unassuming man, didn't say too much. And, the family day's over, we're walking out, and he sees this guy was the chief of training, this guy, Adolf Tutoriello. And I saw this guy. I ran, I always made sure, I wasn't making eye contact with this guy. So my Uncle Bill goes, "Hey, Torchy." And, I'm like, "Uncle Bill, don't say nothing." And, the chief looks up, and he looks at my uncle. He goes, "Hey, Bill, how you doing?" And he goes, "This is my nephew. He graduated Proby School." And then my uncle goes on, "I broke that guy in, da, 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 da." We were laughing,
No
when we
shit.
left. I was like, "Oh, my God, this is great."
Torchy. I want a name like Torchy. Torchy.
Adolf Tutoriello. Yep.
Adolf. His parents couldn't decide if they liked Hitler or Mussolini. They went Adolf Tutoriello.
Yeah. But
Oh my God.
So he did his. Did he ever get promoted? He stayed in 201. Where did he end up going?
he was in 201, Louis, and he transferred out. There was a big house in South Jamaica for a number of years, and he worked out there the rest of his career.
Awesome.
He was an engineman most of his career.
That's great, man.
But and I was in Rockville Center Fire Department. The way I found out about the job, really, was I was dating my wife, and we'd go over to this house, and was my wife's girlfriend, and her father was on the job, and he grabs me one day. I was another one. I was like, I don't want to talk to this guy. He said, "Come over here. I want to talk to you, bro." Wait a minute. Oh my God, guys.
Hey.
Station.
Sorry,
guys.
The guy, come on. He's got a
apple, spinach, and sweet potato, easy digestible. I got that for you. And I need to borrow a cup of sugar. I'm making those.
Is that a guinea tea he's got on over there?
Look at this. Some of my bitch. Look at him.
What are you doing? You watching the Three Stooges? Three Stooges are on.
You see what he stole with
Horrible
the
acting.
special?
Horrible acting.
Yeah, look at that.
Unbelievable.
I didn't mean to bother you. I didn't know you were doing that. All right.
Who is that guy?
The Stooges.
Hey, move this
I have to go to Cherry over
Find his checkbook, will you?
Who is that? Vinny Boombots? Who is that?
Look at the outfit on this guy.
Look at that tan he's got, that son of a
He's got a
bitch.
lot of class. It's all low.
What did he bring you?
My God.
All right, Hank.
Does he have tube socks on up to his feet?
There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah, man. How far does he live away from you?
Not far enough.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Nice.
He's down the block.
Oh, my shirt ready.
That should be your cell phone ringtone whenever Frank calls you. I'm Hank. Frank.
Frank. I get it called
Frank.
I keep calling Frank. That should be the ringtone.
Bring in the left-handed, Kev.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God, my face hurts already.
But
I called him Frank again.
that was funny. But this guy, Jim Mcnally, he's the one who gave me the application to go on a job. He goes, "You're dating her for a while now. You getting serious?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Well, you better take the test for the job." And he's the guy that really pushed me towards getting serious about training for the test. And his son, Jim, is now the division commander in the 11th Division, Jim Mcnally Jr.
Was he a deputy too, McNally?
The father, no, he went to. He was like he was a Bronx guy in the '60s and '70s. 31 truck, I think.
So he didn't see any fire.
33.
No.
Yeah, a lot of fire.
Oh God, 31 truck. Holy shit!
But he got promoted to captain. It was a funny story. He wound up coming to Bradford Street one summer. I guess the captain was out on medical leave, or whatever, and he was just It was so great working with him. It was just like, this was like, oh my God, I'm working with this dude. It was cool, real cool.
So the guy who got you on the job, you ended up working with him.
He gave me the application.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, towards the end of his career, then he went out to Rockaway, and I think he was a captain of 265 engine towards the end of his time. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Real solid guy.
So you do 6 weeks of Proby School back then, and they send you out to Engine, not Squad, Engine 252 in Bushwick, Brooklyn.
Yep, 617 Central Avenue.
617 Central.
Yeah. That place was
a little hidden gem back then, or what?
They had to be rocking over there, right?
We had 20. There's I think that's a third or fourth alarm on Myrtle Avenue, and I got my pumpkin patch on there. The guy all the way to the left is Jeff Converse. He got there to class.
That's Converse? Me. Oh my God!
Yeah. And he was in the squad.
That's Martian Man.
He stayed there the whole time.
He stayed there the whole time.
Yeah,
a lot of guys like him.
A lot of guys in 252 stayed when they switched over.
Yeah, right. Louis. You're right.
Richie Sweeney, Jimmy Hardisall, La Rosa. Jimmy McGinnis. Right. Yeah, Rosa, and that's between Jeff and I. That's George Hargett, who was an unbelievable guy to work for. He was the company delegate. You work with him. Everybody was firefighter. Hey, firefighter. Hey, firefighter. Go to a job, and I'm licking the floor, and he's none of you have a face piece on. Let's go, firefighter. Let's go, firefighter. Pushing up, pushing the line, and it's just tremendous. And then the guy on the far right is Bobby Simi, who was with us for a year or so, and then he was in the first class off of the list, and they lifted a bunch of guys, and Bobby went to 156 truck for a short stay. Then he was in 234 the rest of his career.
All right. You didn't do too bad either.
Nah.
Yeah, no, just unbelievable. He was like my first dear friend on a job, Bobby. Tremendous guy.
How long you in the firehouse before you go to your first job?
First tour.
Your first tour. Bingo.
Yeah. I worked, we got out of Proby School, I guess, Thursday or Friday. And I went to 252 at a Proby School with Sterling Alves and this other guy, Walter Zabriskie. Sterling, another guy, stayed most of his career. He might have went squad one for a while, but came back to
well, that's what I'm saying. Did he got assigned to 252 as an engine as well?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Proby class. Yep. Yeah. So he
was there that long, huh?
Yeah.
Shit, man.
He had worked, I think, like the day tour, and I was coming in for the night tour on the weekend. And I'm like, Sterling, how was it, man? He goes, holy shit, Jimmy. He says, we had like 2 jobs, and this is on a day tour. I'm like, shit, this is going to be unbelievable.
He was such a nice guy, man. I remember.
Oh, he's a sweetheart.
Yeah, he was
great
a sweetheart.
guy, great fireman. But yeah, my first night tour, I think we had. Let me see what I got to look at my notes here, guys. Don't get old.
You ain't Frank. I can tell you that much.
You ain't no Salamino, that's for sure.
Yeah. We had
or Frank Mollet.
Or Frank Mollet, right?
Oh yeah.
252. We caught the tail end of the 70s when Bushwick was burning, and we had 26 first due boxes. It was a small response area. The fire duty was off the charts. Roll frames, rocking and rolling. It was just, I think we had 2 all hands the first night, and everybody got a piece of the nozzle. I'm backing up George Hargett, and he's talking to me like we're talking now. It's a walk in the park. Okay, bro, let's go here. All right, we're gonna move over here, Jimmy Joe. Put the fire out. All right, next floor, you got it. Go ahead, you get up on the nozzle, and it was phenomenal.
Wow.
Phenomenal.
What trucks were you running in with there? What is 111?
176.
We were in the 3-7 battalion, and the 3-7 battalion consisted of 222 was on Ralph and Gates.
Triple deuce.
With the battalion. 233 was on Hull Street. They were a single engine.
The Hull and back.
Before they moved in on Rockaway Avenue with 176. And then 175 was the truck, single truck on 77 New Jersey Avenue. And but our fire duty was more with 112, 124.
Further into Bushwick that way by 124, right?
Yeah. But we had some boxes too, like closer to the cemetery, where we would operate a long time before a truck would come in. If 175 was coming up the hill up at Bushwick Avenue, or 112 was coming down Knickerbocker. But
they were front to back, right? On Knickerbocker, they were with.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. And I a while back on one of the shows, it might have been with Norton, they were talking about, they were back to back and this and that. And they, 252, before I got there was a 17th Division was in quarters with them. It was on the 3rd floor. And, it was the early 70s from what I can remember people talking about it in Firehouse. And the fire duty was so busy back then. They built Ralph and Gates, and 112 was supposed to move in with 222. And there was a deputy chief there by the name of Jonat at the time. And he said, there is no way in God's green earth that 112 is moving over on the other side of Broadway. He said, there's just too much fire duty. So that's why, from what I can recall, there might be other stories about it, but, they kept them there strictly for the amount of fire duty,
No shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So you first that experience of walking in of just because you really didn't have, like, your father wasn't on the job, so it was predominantly through the volley house, right? So coming over, was the culture the same, or was it like something new to you? Was
it was brand new. It was a whole different show, man.
Yeah.
There were a lot of us, the first guys that came off of, my list was, September 2nd of 78. And between September 78, and I'm going to say like August of 79, we had like 12 guys come to 252.
Wow.
Out of Proby School, young guys. Wow. So it was a big turnover. The old timers were phenomenal guys, man. I learned from the best, besides George Hargett. Artie Anwander, tremendous individual, went on to become a lieutenant. Billy Seto went on to become a captain. He was one of the toughest nozzlemen I ever worked with. It was a story with him. He got detailed to another company. I won't mention any companies. It might piss some people off. But they had a fire and they needed another line. Billy stretched his own line and brought it up and went past them. You know, the guy was an all-star. You know, he's an unbelievable guy. And I learned from those guys. It was just unbelievable. You know, they just and the guys who come, you know, off of my list, everybody. It was your family. You know, these guys everybody was into the job. You know?
Well, Cap, you said you had some big names from the FDNY in your Proby class, right? You were saying some guys in the pre-show that were in your class alone, right?
Yes, yeah. I mean, Pete, you got my platoon there. The picture.
I do.
Great guy. I mean, Norton was in my class. Timmy Higgins.
Oh my God.
Kevin Williams. You know, Kevin was a legend up in Rescue 3.
Yeah, man.
Paulie Schmidt was my squad leader. You guys had him on a while back.
Yep.
Yeah, Horsehead. Yeah. He's over to the right there. There's Timmy.
There's Kevin Williams right there.
Kevin Williams in the front row. Al Lampasso.
Look at that head, too. Wow.
Yeah. They were just, you know, great guys. I mean, back then, when the first day they give you, they gave you a civil defense helmet, a yellow helmet, and a yellow slicker, and they tell you go home and clean this thing, and I cleaned this thing up. I think I did a great job, and I'm standing next to Johnny Cologne, and Johnny's cologne, the thing looked like the sunshine. I'm like, man, you're making me look like shit, bro. You know, the instructor
screwing it up for everybody.
Come on, Graham. What happened to yours? You didn't do a damn thing to this thing, you know.
Yeah. Hey, you know who else was on your list?
Yes, he was.
Out of nowhere, huh? The old chief.
Yeah. He was the class before me. He was with Henry Millay. Yeah.
Yeah, he still on the job. Henry quit. Frank Millay. He was on with Frank Millay.
That's never going to get old either, man.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but 252. I'm telling you what, to cut your teeth. On this great job of ours, I couldn't have been
single engine
more fortunate,
single engine Bushwick. I mean, during the tail end of the war years, man, that's a home run right there, right?
I mean, the captains and the lieutenants there were unbelievable. Jerry Hopkins was my captain. Jerry Heffernan, I was in his groups. Joe Adams, John Pasquale, just super guys, and you learn the job real quick. It was like OJT, baby.
On the job training. Did you do straight tours? Or you do when you were first
in the beginning? You had to do straight tours for 90 days. He wouldn't let you do 24s. It was funny because I came on in April. We got in the field in May, and my wife and I get married the end of June. So I'm like, my wife's going, do you think we could get a honeymoon? And I said, I don't know. I don't want to, the Cap said you got to do 90 days. So I go up, I knock on the door. I said, hey, Cap, you got a minute? I told him I'm getting married, and he's just sitting there listening. He ain't saying shit. I'm like, I'm wasting my time here.
Going sideways.
He goes, hey, kid, if you're getting married, put the mutuals on the board, whatever you need. Don't worry about it. And we wound up going away on a honeymoon. It was awesome. All the guys jumped right up.
Beautiful. That's what the brotherhood's all about, right?
Exactly. Absolutely.
Exactly right.
It never ceases to amaze you, right? I mean, it's just amazing. Because there are other jobs, cops, the military, but there's something I can't put my finger on what it is about the fire department, bro. That we were talking about it a little in the pre-show, right? About they say it's the greatest job, but can't figure out. It's the culture, it's the family, it's just so many things that you really can't put it to words,
Yeah.
You live together. I think that's a big part of it. When you're in the same house, living together, it really does become a brotherhood. I mean, you're hearing your friends snoring next to you, 5 nights a week.
It's funny when we're in 252, we used to have the bells. Like one day a week, they went to the bells, and I think the first night I had the 12-by with the bells, and bing, 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 bing. I'm trying to write this down. I'm not doing very well. I'm not excelling at this. The Captain Hopkins comes to the poll hole. House watch. Yeah, Cap. What do we do on that box? And I'm like, hamna. He slides the pole.
Panic.
He sits with me for like 10, 15 minutes, and like, this is what you got to do, and it was, once you picked it up, it was great. But
right.
it's funny when when we were on the bells, you'd go up in the bunk room, guys would lay down for a while. The old timers, they were like Pavlov's dogs. The bells would start going off.
90.
They wouldn't move, but when it was like an 800 box or was one of our boxes, they'd sit up in bed. And I'm like, what's this guy doing? And it wasn't us, but if it was us, they were up. Let's go.
Right. They just needed that first number, right? That was as soon as you heard the 8, that was the sign right there.
They were wired different than I was,
Fast turnouts.
My gender.
Okay.
Yeah, real fast turnouts, and we didn't have electric doors, overhead doors, so you pull the chain, put the door up. Pull it back down, lock it in place, run out, get on a rig. We were always trying to beat 277 the boxes or 233 if we were going up towards Brownsville. No, there was a lot of pride. No, there was definitely Brooklyn attitude. We're going to beat you into a box. No matter, we're going to try like hell.
Were you riding the back step back then, or no? It was.
We did ride the back on occasions. It all depended who the boss was, but we rode the back step, hanging off a dear life, and,
incredible, right?
It was trying to feed other companies into the box.
Oh yeah, we're going to a job. And even the masks are up in the crew cab, and like, okay, It was just
that's just straight up crackers, Pete.
Oh! Salute. Yeah.
So you do 3 years there, and you say,
I need a little more.
I got a little something else. I got to scratch an itch over here or something. I don't know what it is. So
what happened was, go ahead. I'm sorry, Kev.
Did they have the 30-day detail back then, or you didn't do the 30-day detail?
No, there was no 30-day details. No.
So had you worked in the truck at all?
I would take all the details to 175. Like I work with guys, senior men. And, back then, 175, they were, it was all pull boxes that probably doing 25 to 35 runs a night, maybe 2-3 jobs. And I was like, I took, a few details and I was hooked, man. I said, this is where I got to work, man. This is for me, So
what was the avenues? It was between Cap. It was New Jersey between what?
New Jersey between Jamaica and Fulton, Louis.
Oh, it's on the north side of.
It's right. It was right at the end of. It was Bushwick Avenue, Jamaica Avenue, and it was the Interboro back then. Now it's Jackie Robinson, and then you came on to Pennsylvania Avenue. Okay, so
I didn't know it was that far north.
Yeah, so I would take the details and. The Captain Hopkins in 252, he's like, what are you taking all those details for? I said, I'll be honest with you, Cap, I'm looking to go over to the truck, and he was adamant that you had to do the 3 years in the engine before he would sign off on your papers. So I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, that's not the worst thing that could happen, right? I mean, you're still going
to
work.
I loved where I was. Yeah. He's like, I'm going to send you to chauffeur school, and I'm like, please don't send me to chauffeur school. I'm 3 years. I'm looking to get out of here. Well. 3 years didn't work out the way I thought, and I finally, got my transfer paper in. I went over and spoke to Captain McNulty in 175, and we'd love to have you. And, I had been over there a bunch of times. I worked with a lot of great guys, Jerry Murtha, Larry Stack.
Wow,
tremendous guys. I was like in awe. Ray Ross was like. He was like Jack LaLanne. Ray's brother Kenny was in 111. And Ray would tell you, come here, Jimmy, let me show you something, how to trim a window or how to use your hook, because the guy knew you went into the job. And, once they see that, they're looking at, we got, a guy that wants to learn.
Diamond in the rough.
Yeah. So I'm waiting. The transfer order comes down. I don't get it. Somebody comes out of left field. Somebody's got some more juice. You know the drill. And now the guy's on 617 Central Avenue breaking my stones.
That's
you're not going yet.
That's a pain in the ass.
And then next order comes, 2 guys go. I don't get it.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, Louis, it was almost a year.
God. Wow.
And Captain McNulty, God rest his soul, he was a tremendous guy. He goes, I'm going downtown. I forget who was the chief of the department, but this man took it out of his own time, went downtown as Class A's and said,
Wow,
how come
God
I'm
bless him,
getting
man.
these guys that I don't know who they are, and this is the guy I want, and he keeps getting stepped over, you know? So, I mean, you know, then finally I get the spot. I'm away on vacation with my wife and another couple. We're down in Bermuda. And back then, you didn't have any phones. I come home and my mother, you know, she was watching the kids or whatever. My daughter, maybe, I forget. Oh, you got to call 175. You were supposed to work the other day, and I'm like, what do you mean? You know? And
Of course.
I get the spot, you know, and a
Yeah,
couple
right.
guys picked up my doors for me. You know, it was all good.
Oh my
you know?
God,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So off I went to New Jersey Avenue, man, 1982.
Wow, Pete, you got a picture of 175 single truck in there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here it comes, boys. Stand by. Skadoosh.
Nice.
Always a
Yeah.
tiller, right?
Always a tiller, yeah. The streets were in that part of East New York were really tight. Still to this day, it's a tiller.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And look at the comparison, right, of this with the way it looked back in the day, right, to this now. Maron.
Yeah, that's a sad sight, Pete. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
man.
that-
I'm surprised
breaks
because
my
that
heart.
area is so built up now. I would be surprised, like if you'd have, you know, white people in there sipping cappuccino. You know what I mean? Like I can't believe that it's not
Yeah,
happening over there. You know what I mean?
Well, we
Yeah.
don't know how old this picture is either. Could be.
Oh,
Yeah, I
probably
don't know
could be.
either. Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
that was a
yeah.
recent picture.
Let me see if I can find the address.
So
of it.
what? 77.
77 New Jersey Avenue, Pete.
Okay, Raj.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a back in hello, gone but not forgotten. That's on the list. So if it's like that, maybe we'll throw up a portable and get inside and do a little something.
There you go.
We'll call 175 over. You know.
Yeah.
It
Give
looks
us a
like
look.
shit right now, actually. I'm
Does
looking
it?
at it on Google Maps. I can show you in the audience. It looks pretty much the same as this. Boarded up windows, the whole nine, maybe just a little less graffiti, but it is boarded up. I mean, you know, that's going to be a pretty penny in Brooklyn right now. That ain't going to
Oh
be
yeah.
cheap.
No
We
doubt.
could get in there and do a little research. Research.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dead bodies and rats, you know.
Throw up a portable.
You know, I'll tell you a story about the firehouse being in quarters. You know, the fuel pump, the chauffeur had to crank the, you know, it was a 275-gallon fuel tank. He had to hand crank the diesel into the rig, you know. We didn't have any Needleman systems. You know, it was one bathroom, one shower. You know, the
Looks
diesel
like a
fumes
small
on
place.
the diesel fumes on the second floor. We hung blankets over the pole holes. You know,
To keep the smoke from coming up. I know.
Yeah, you had diesel.
It was coming up
exhaust.
like my shirt. I mean, that's what it
Yeah.
would come up when the rig started up, right? It was like
Yeah,
incredible.
you go lay in a bunk. Your pillow is covered in diesel exhaust. You know, and
This can't be bad for you.
well, you know, we didn't know better. We
I know.
were the happiest guys in the world. You know, the fire duty there was, you know, all the companies in that area were busy then. You know, us, 176, 120, 107. You know, it was just everybody. There was plenty of work to go around for everybody. 103, Lou, you were down there. Sheffield Avenue.
103.
They,
Ring a bell.
they were rocking and rolling down there too. Frankie Posa, that whole crowd. You know, they were tremendous individuals. Gene DeMarco, Joe Dirks. Yeah.
So you have any interesting fires from 175?
I might have one or two. Let me see. What are we going to do here? I had when we on New Jersey Avenue, we had one of the toughest fires I ever went to, and I was only in the truck like a year. You know, I think it was the first time I had the irons. And the captain's working, McNulty, me, Kevin Chalkwooks got the can. We get off the rig, and McNulty never took a mask. You know, he get off the rig running, and you better be right with them. We go in the lobby. 332 is got a line stretched to the basement, and we forced the door. The shit that came out of that basement, I was like, oh man, we're going down here, you know. And I mean, Jimmy McKenna was the captain at 332, and I think Joe Hands had the nozzle. I could be wrong, but as best I can remember. And the captain goes to me, he goes, Jim, he goes, go upstairs and give me a primary. It was a 3-story multiple dwelling. It was on the corner of like Cleveland and Fulton under the L there. So I looked at Jockowick. I said, good luck, bro. I'm glad I'm not going down there. So go up, make a search of the second floor, railroad flats, both sides. And then you could hear it coming. It's coming up the stairs. And I get up to the top floor. Bobby Turner had the roof. He dropped down. And he goes, I don't have a mask. I said, I'll go to the other side. And, it's just taken off. And there was a supermarket next to the 3-story. And the fire was in the supermarket. And they had breached a wall from the cellar into the multiple dwelling.
Shit. Yeah.
So unbeknownst to the first arriving units, they ain't putting this thing out. Like, what's going on? The couple of guys were coming in for the night tour. There was a grate in the sidewalk. They were breaking the grate up in case they had to pull the guys out of the basement. But I get up. I finished the last room. Bobby went back up to the roof or whatever, and I'm at a window that's looking down at the supermarket roof. And Ray Ross, my buddy Jack LaLanne, I'm like, Raymond, I got to get out of here. He's looking at me. He goes, you're all right. I said, I'm all right. This guy Teddy Wazorek was the chauffeur. He goes, I got to get Teddy first. I said, okay. And now it's getting snotty and starting to roll over. And I'm like, screw this. I threw my tools out onto the roof of the supermarket, and I'm getting ready. And Ray came over. He goes, don't you jump. And he got the ladder there, and thing went to like a 4th alarm or something. But
wow.
That was pretty hairy. That was.
So it started in the supermarket basement and went through the breach in the.
The roof of the supermarket wound up collapsing. We were there for like.
Yeah, who knows if you would have jumped on the roof, you didn't take the plunge all the way through.
Yeah. It was crazy.
That area had so many frames over there. That was like such a great area, right? They even had some Queen Anne's in the back there, right? I remember there was. I had a few
up in Highland Park. There were a lot of Queen Anne's up there, Louis. Yeah. We had some really tough Queen.
I had some good jobs over there too. Yeah.
That balloon frame construction. Yeah, you're chasing it.
Yummy
for sure. Yeah.
332 was on Liberty, right? They were in their own little firehouse.
They were on Liberty Avenue, and then we moved into Bradford Street. I think like 1985. So that was. I
didn't look.
That was an adventure.
You were still there, right? You get promoted till 91. Yeah. That was a brand new firehouse they built there, right?
Brand new firehouse. Yep. And then.
How did you feel about going from a single truck to a double house there? Was it?
It was a little rocky in the beginning. The nickname was the Harmony Hut. You had two companies. You had two companies coming together who had tremendous pride. 332, just loved those guys. It was a tremendous engine company, and we were thick-headed too. We were like, screw this. We don't want to be with these guys.
What's so funny is you think about that now,
New Jersey Avenue,
right? Yeah. You look at the company now, how such a great house now, right? You look at the house and the company, but when they first came together, there's a little bit of pride, right? For each company. Now you wouldn't even think about that. Guys wouldn't even know anything about that. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But
a lot of the senior guys from both companies, they didn't come to Bradford Street. They transferred to somewhere else. They just didn't. They weren't working.
Oh, really? Yeah. Huh?
They just guys are headstrong.
Wasn't a fit. Yeah, it wasn't a fit.
Yeah, for whatever it was. So we went there and. 332 had, Jimmy McKenna, Patty Morn, let's see some of the officers that were there. They were tremendous guys, Kevin Conley, and we had great guys, McNulty was a captain. Kenny Dolan was my lieutenant. He was a fireman in 102, KD, tremendous guy. I think he might have worked with your brother Steve Coobs. In 55 engine, Kenny became the captain of 55.
Oh, all right.
And then he went upstairs to the 2nd Battalion. Yeah. Kenny was a tremendous fire officer on the grounds. No nonsense. You covering your position, and we were like, oh shit. he'd get a little hot in the collar, but you know, the old saying, you get cool in the same skin, you get hot, you know. But he taught us. You know, I love the guy. I learned more about truck work from that guy. You know, besides we had a Bobby Majeski was the quiet man, tremendous. You know, you got to understand, back then the vacants were nuts. So we were out drilling all the time in vacant buildings. You know, cutting roofs. You know, they 10 penny nails, nail the doors shut, forcing doors. You know, we were fortunate to have that in our backyard, so to speak. You know, where today, you know, you do your training at the academy or wherever. You don't have too many vacants anymore.
You know what, Cap? That's funny you say that, because I always kind of felt like you guys didn't have to drill because you were going to so much work. But you know, the more we do these shows, the more I realize that those guys really were doing the drilling. You know, like guys now, sometimes guys look at drilling like, you know, I don't want to drill. But, you know, you don't realize that even with all the work and all the running that you guys were doing back then, you still had to find time to do the drills, you know, and you had a perfect scenario because you had so many vacants, and, you know, that's kind of gone in the city now. But but I didn't realize how much you guys did do that.
Yeah. Yeah. We had the vacants, so we were really drilling there. And then, one thing about New Jersey Avenue, I get ahead of myself a little bit. We were the first truck company to get a hearse tool other than Rescue 2 in Brooklyn. Okay. Because we were right on the Interborough Parkway. There were a lot of auto accidents. And, you know, before the hearse tool, we had something called a save tool. You know, it was a hydraulic pump. You had to pump it by hand. You know, it was no generator. And we were using that a lot. And, you know, like anything else, we had plenty of ADVs up in Highland Park. So, you know, we were able to drill on those. And then when we got the hearse tool, you know, guys take it upon themselves to make a compartment for the hearse tool to go in. You know, go get some 3/4 ply and some fiberglass. We did it ourselves, you know. Yeah. But we did a lot of pin work, you know.
There was always accidents when we were kids, you know, and when we started driving in the mid '80s. There was always accidents on
Snake Hill,
Snake Hill, right there, all of those, you know, all the time. You know what I mean? All the time.
Chances are, even now, if you drive on it, you're going to get in.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little. They've changed it a little bit.
It's twisty, and people like to speed on there, and that's the end of it. You know?
Yeah.
Well, now you have Jersey barriers. Back then, it was like an 8-inch curb. You know, so cars are coming across.
Going right over the side, right? Yeah.
We'd get these decap jobs, and it was like, oh my, you know, nuts. You know?
Right, that's true.
Guys in the chat are asking what a Queen Anne is, right? And I pulled up some from Brooklyn here, something like this, boys.
That was more like a brownstone.
Like a brownstone, yeah.
Like brownstone Queen Anne.
Queen Anne's a wood frame.
Queen Anne's a single building. Yeah.
It's got a cool. Yes.
Yeah, that's a Queen Anne.
There you go.
That's a really nice Queen Anne.
I'd like to buy that one.
That wasn't in East New York, I can tell you that.
No, but
that's a Gopola right there. You got the Gopola.
The Gopola,
came up a few times because we talked about it a lot, so I wanted to make sure we could try to get one out to the.
No, it's just they had all little weird rooms, and you know, it wasn't a set layout, so
they had a stairway in the kitchen
in the back for the servants and shit.
Yeah.
But those are always good fires because wherever it starts, it's usually the whole building at some point. So you get a piece of it no matter what.
You mean
balloon frame construction? Yeah.
You didn't do good at the Queen Anne's? Is that what you're saying?
Sometimes we did, but most of the time it was fun. You know.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, beautiful structures down there. They are really.
Oh,
the brownstones are gorgeous. You know, even when you drive through, you know, you see those brownstones. They're gorgeous.
Kev, that block what the captain was talking about up on the top that looks over into Brooklyn, right by the park. Holy mackerel! Those that those buildings in the heyday had to be.
Yeah. Yep.
That was the place to be probably. I mean, you had
that was big. That was big money up there, Louis.
Yeah,
you know, when they had the World's Fair in the 40s.
Right. No doubt.
That was Mahogany Raw, if you want to call it something. You know, there was a lot of money up there. Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Big time. I was going to ask you if you work with Turner, but that was on my question, but you answered it already.
Yeah, I worked with Bobby for 9 years.
Maybe you can call him trying to get him on the show.
He would be great.
He's going to. I think he's going to do it. He's just it's a little. He's got some stuff going on, personal stuff.
Yeah,
he's got personal stuff going on.
You know, Louis and Kev, your career, you work with guys like your top 5 guys. You're like, you know, these are the guys that, you know, I'd put in my top 5 that I'd want coming to get me if I got jammed up.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, Bobby would be right
shit.
there, man. Bobby, you know, is the most unassuming guy that I worked with. You know, he won the Brooklyn Citizen Medal off duty. Got burned really bad. You know, he saved like his sister's, somebody in his family, or I forget the particulars, so I shouldn't really talk about it. But I remember going to Burn Center and seeing Bob, and you know, he just couldn't wait to come back to work. You know, and
such a nice, genuine guy, too.
He is one of, if not the nicest gentleman I've ever met on the job. He really is he loved the squad. He always, you know, he just loved the job. You could tell he loved the job.
Yeah, but Harry Davis was a chauffeur.
Oh yeah,
Harry
that's right.
Down in
Harry
Squad
Davis,
18.
175.
Harry was the chauffeur. I'll tell you a funny story with Harry. We used to call him HLD, Harry Lee Davis.
Right.
The captain, or Kenny Dolan, said, Jimmy, you get up in the tiller today. We're going to start breaking you in as the tiller. So Bobby Turner's
can't be good.
Bobby Turner's got the light belt hooked onto the aerial, and he's sitting next to me, and you know, we're going out. Harry's driving this rig like a Maserati, you know, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to hit anything.
Right.
Swing it out, you know. And Bobby's talking me through it. Nah, Jimmy, just track on the Mars light, you know, it'll be all right. But the thing with Harry was like, you know, after a while, you figured it out, you know. But he would back into quarters. I mean, look at that picture. That quarter's pretty tight. He would back up as fast as you were going to an all hands. You talk about puckering.
Gee,
I know. I know exactly.
You know,
what you're
I'm
talking
like,
about.
I better not hit the walls here or something, or take out the coat racks or some shit. And
there was a guy
off the rig.
Jimmy Gersbeck would back in faster than he was driving forward, and he drove very fast. You know what I mean? Incredible. I said it all the time. Chief Kleehouse said that the chief was wearing his pajamas during that rescue, when he made that rescue.
Oh, Turner? Really?
Yeah, Turner was wearing.
He was in his pajamas.
His pajamas.
He was woke up. That's right, Jack. Yep. Yeah.
Incredible stuff, man. What a great guy.
I mean,
hopefully we'll get him on.
I caught so many jobs with Bobby, and you know, we had some unbelievable jobs on. You know, we had one on New Jersey Avenue. We were still on New Jersey Avenue, and isolated building. We're riding with 6 guys this night, and Bobby and I got the roof, and we're going up the aerial, and there's like half a dozen people at the top floor window, and you know, it's 3-story, but it's rocking. You know, the hallways are rocking. And we get up there, we pop the bulkhead, and you know, we had to leave the hook there to keep the door open because it was so much fire we couldn't take it off the hinges. So we dropped down, and Bobby and I, and we get into the top floor apartment, and you could hear the people, but the door was open to the apartment, and the fire is coming like a freight train. Here it comes. And Bobby's like, I think we got to get out of here, Jimmy. So, you know, we went back up. We couldn't, unfortunately, we couldn't get past it, but Guy Warren and Harry Davis got medals at that fire. The guy had the OV, and he was in that front room.
Got the people out.
Yeah. Harry, you know, was on the aerial, and we were on the roof, and you know, fire's still coming. We're like, shit. I'm looking at Turner. I go, hey, BT, I don't know, man. I'm looking at this lot next door here, and one of the engine companies put up at 35, and it was still short. And I was like, well, if we got to go, you know. But the brothers got in and knocked it out, and we looked over the front of the building, and Harry's, don't you guys move, I'm going to get you. And his body's all over the aerial ladder. It was just a tremendous grabs by those 2 guys, you know. And then you know, if we had a hook, we might have been able to close the door, and unfortunately, we didn't have it, you know. But that was a great night, and you know, to see the guys get, like we were talking earlier about Medal Day, to go to Medal Day and see 2 of the guys, you know, get medals, and you were at that job, man. It was a proud moment, you know.
Yeah. It don't have to be you. It doesn't.
Yeah,
the guy in your company, especially. You see,
it does so much for the company. It just.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Such a great time.
Yeah. No, to me, it was always about the company. The individual stuff didn't matter really. But
Chief Kleehouse put in the chat. He goes, Harry's nickname was Leadfoot, not just because he drove fast, but because John Vigiano put the tormentor down on his foot when they were both in 103.
Sheffield Avenue.
That's right.
And I think it was Crackers, right? Didn't they?
I like it when the guest gets in it.
Yeah, that's a true story. Yeah. John Vidge, another legend. Oh my God,
He's a chief. He
unbelievable.
All these things. I don't know how he does it. He remembers.
He's got a
everything.
great memory, man. I'll tell you.
When we get him on this show,
He'd be.
We're trying.
Chief,
Son of
come
a
on,
bitch, a
Chief.
dirty bastard.
Yeah.
We've been asking.
But yeah,
Well,
I mean,
you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to send the boys over.
Hey, Moose, Rocco, help the judge find his checkbook, will you?
Should find his checkbook, would you?
Help the
Yeah.
chief find his checkbook.
we had a couple other jobs that were pretty notable back. With when HIV and AIDS took off, it was a big epidemic in the early 80s. We had a job in East New York, just what was that street you come over from the hill from like 135, come over to Interboro, and then it was like Highland Avenue maybe, or I forget the block. Anyhow,
That's what they call Snake Hill, isn't it? The one that comes through
No, that's not.
Koopa?
Snake.
no,
Or comes to
this was
Cooper?
a road. This was a bridge that came over from Queens, and 135 would run in with us down there. But we had this job as a day tour, and we pull up. Fire's out on the front porch. It's like semi-attached frames. People are going. There's somebody in the basement. So we're not getting in the front door. So we go around the back. There's a Bilko door, and this is pumping. Cypress Hill Street. There you go, Jack. Very good.
Son of a bitch.
On second thought, Chief Kleehouse, don't worry. You don't have to come on the show. You're on every single week.
So
That's okay.
so
you know what I mean?
All
right, Rocco!
we go around the back. Bobby's got the irons. I got the can. And we open this Bilko door, and it's snotty. So we're going down, and 332 came in. Chris King had the nozzle. Chris King had been a captain of Rescue 3. He was a Bradford Street guy. Chris, great guy. And anyway, we go down there, and we find this victim. And, we bring him out, work on him for a bit, and they put him in a bus. Off they go. And, I worked the night tour and go home. Like 2 days later, I get a phone call that the guy's he's HIV and AIDS or something, So I was
shit.
Like, this ain't good. I've been home. So it was like,
back then,
I was pretty concerned. We got 3 little babies and my wife.
Of course.
This is ugly. So they say, you got to go to medical office. And it was down at 20 Trucks quarters on Spring Street. Mm-hmm. And, we weren't too happy. It was me, Bobby, and Chris. And the good thing that came out of it was that they came up with the victim tracking tag. Like if you had a victim, you would tag him, you take a piece of the, So moving forward, nobody else had to deal with that. But that was, that's, what that whole victim tracking tag thing came.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
That'll stress you out for a while.
A little bit, yeah. But it worked out. It was okay. That and when crack took off, we're on Bradford Street now. The crack epidemic just was wild in East New York. Sheffield Avenue, us. We'd go to these vacants. They'd burn the vacant 3 times in one night. And they'd have 2x12s blocking the apartment door with a slit, and they're doing the crack. But they would take the bed springs and put them on the public hallway wall. So like if you go on breach the wall, they got the bed springs that are hooked up to batteries and stuff. You get in the door, you freaking Halligan is jumping out of your hand like, what the frick? It's like they were very innovative people. The pit bulls with no voice boxes, the bed of nails inside the windows. It was crazy, and we'd go back to quarters, and like an hour later, the place is rocking stem to stern again. Like,
you know what, Cap? I actually did when I was in 290. I actually was cleaning out some of the files, and I saw some of the building files. The building folders. Yeah, and there were paperwork in there that I saw where just exactly what you said, where that they would go to a box, a fire in one building 3 or 4 or 5 times in a week. you know, like you're saying in a day, but just to go to that building 5 times in a week, that's just one building, right? I mean, when you think about that's how many fires were happening at that time, it's just incredible. You know, I can't even fathom it. And it got worse and worse every fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do after that? You can't, you got to be careful.
Yeah, it was. You really had to be careful. Vacants were, you know, you just approached them totally differently. You know, the only ones that really getting hurt are us. You know, so it's like
like going to fires isn't dangerous enough. You got to worry about booby traps and
yeah. But we saw a lot of sunrises in East New York back in those days for sure. A lot of sunrises, but I enjoyed every minute of that place, man. It was just phenomenal. You know.
That's good stuff, man.
How long did it take before the engine in the truck kind of started to gel?
I would say, maybe, 6 months to, but by the time a year was up, it was pretty, everybody was pretty much accepted. And then, after I left, guys started transferring over from the engine, and I think that really broke.
Yeah, that's the sign.
That broke that barrier down.
Yeah.
But there were tremendous guys in the engine. I mean, Jack Kleehouse was a lieutenant there. He got promoted, and he was a phenomenal boss. And he was there for a short period of time, and then he went up to Squad 41. And he handpicked guys from the engine: Billy Flynn, Chris King. I think Joe Morado went up for a while, and I mean, Jack. I enjoyed working with Jack. He was.
Only there was some way we could talk to him or something, some connection we could make.
The funny thing when he first came there, he carried that baseball bat with him. I guess it must have gave it to him when he got promoted at a 2, and he'd be trying to force the door, and I'm like, hey, Lou. You hold the flashlight. We got the 2. I don't know if he remembers that or not.
But, he remembers everything.
Oh, he does remember everything.
He was there, and Al Hay, who went on to become a chief of safety. They were 2 young lieutenants there from the top of the list. Al was a legend in 120 and Watkins Street, and you couldn't ask for better officers come through the door. It's all good.
Nice.
But it was funny. One more quick story with 175 and Warren Fuchs. 4th of July 6x9 tours. The guys be fighting to go to work that night.
Hell yeah.
4th of July was crazy. I'd be in Attila. People are shooting bottle rockets, throwing shit at you, like bing, 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 bing off the. He closed the ring. But Warren Warren was as cool as the other side of the pillow on the board, man. He, all right, you guys, going to this box. Watch out for such and such companies coming this way. The guy was like a machine, and that was the fire duty on the 4th of July was phenomenal. You're talking about Queen Anne. They had when I wasn't working, but there were no engine companies coming in, and 175 was there by themselves. The chauffeur, this guy Dave Gianelli. The story goes that he hooked up to a hydrant with he had like 3 or 4 lanes of 2.5.
Oh shit!
He took it from the hydrant up the portable ladder and handed it into the guys. Here you
go.
There was no engine.
You got to do. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man. I'm sure that happened.
You heard that story. I was like, wow, this is.
I love listening to those audios, bro. When Warren's on,
he was great.
Yeah,
I just talked to Warren today, actually.
You did?
We did. Oh. He's got a few guys. He mentioned a few guys that he thinks would be good for the show. That he's in, like Petey. He's in cahoots. So he's going to push to get him on some real heavy hitters. So
maybe we got to have a game show between Warren and the Beef.
Oh, we'll give him box numbers and everything.
It would turn into fucking Rain Man. It would be Rain Man. Definitely box 134. Definitely box.
Battle Royale. Yeah. You'd have to get Georgie Munch.
We're gonna get. He said either Herbie Isa or
Herbie would be great.
Yeah,
man.
Both of those guys. Yeah.
We'll
get him on.
I want to talk quick about the guys I studied with, Pete. If you could put that picture up of them old geezers there.
I got you 1 second, brother. Party time, right? I got you. Here we go.
There they are. these are guys that, worked with me on New Jersey Avenue. We studied, we went up the ranks together. And this was last month, the guy in the middle, Bobby Moshe, we call him the Moose. It was his 70th birthday, and he sent out an email to everybody. He's throwing himself a surprise 70th birthday down in Jupiter, Florida. So I'm like, okay, Moose, I guess I'm coming. He's like, you coming over? I said, yeah, I'll make a road trip. So these guys, Andy Richter's on the left. He was fireman with me. He finished up in like the 1st Battalion. Jimmy Montgomery was the 4-4 Battalion commander.
I know him. I know him.
Yeah. You probably knew him from Sheffield Avenue, right, Louis?
Great guy. Yeah. I liked him a lot.
Mike DeGennaro was a 4-9 commander.
Yep.
That's the most was he finished as the captain of 293 under the L there. Joe Franco's in the blue shirt. Joe was a tremendous guy. He only unfortunately got injured. They put him out. He probably had 12, 13 years, but he moved down to Florida and he became like a construction manager, building high rises. He did Miami Marlins stadiums, all that good stuff. And but to this day, I'm talking about family. I guess the point I'm getting at, these guys are like my family. I know all their kids. I've been at their weddings. We laughed together, we cried together. Every Saturday since this crazy pandemic, we started a roll call. Everybody texts. There's 2 other guys missing, Jerry Moriarty and Paulie Rinston. And every Saturday, somebody gets it started, and the bantering back and forth, and it's just all these years later, we're still at one another's throats. Everybody's jumping on one another, or whoever's ass is in the jackpot, so to speak.
How often do you guys see each other? You see each other every Saturday, or?
No, well, we text every Saturday.
Oh, all right.
But this was the first time we had all been together since the pandemic, I want to say. But we had a great day. They had to hose us down. There was too many fire stories.
I was just gonna say, do you guys?
Touch a line. It's too hot in here.
Yeah. So that was a great day. We were up in Jupiter, Florida, and I wound up staying with Jimmy for a night. 2 of his brothers were on a job. They were down here. So we continued on for the rest of the evening telling more stories.
Nice.
It's all good. Yeah.
Hey, Cap, I want to backtrack a little bit before. You said your brother was a volley. Did he get on the job, or he never got on the job, your brother?
No, he didn't come on the job, Kevin. I would have loved him to come on the job. It just didn't work out, But he would. He loved the fire service, and he's so proud of my nephew. That's the fire commissioner out in Oceanside, and it's all good. It's all good. But I would have loved to have worked with him.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Are you ready to move on to your promotion? Or you got some more 175?
Oh, I got a couple more, but no, we can move on.
Nah, it's all up to you. They're great stories. You got another one? Throw it out there.
Yeah, I got one more that was a close call. We had a vacant on Van Sinderen, I think between Atlantic and Liberty maybe, but vacant frame. Summertime, early morning, like 5:30. We had been in this place a couple times, and I got the roof. Of course, again, I'm on the roof, right? And Harry's working. He puts me up to the roof. I'm like, Harry, don't leave that one window. Don't take that one window, all right, bro? Because I don't know how long I'm going to be up here. And Kevin Heaney came up right behind me from 120, and we start cutting, and the fire's rocking, So the chief's yelling, "Get off the roof! Get off the roof!" I'm like, "Yeah, okay. We'd like to get off the roof, but I'm going to jump through the fire onto the aerial, So 120 puts their bucket up. They got a spare rig, and this thing is not very quick. So Georgie Mayer went on to become a chief on the job. He's in the bucket, and we're like, "George, can you get it to move any quicker?" And he's laughing. He goes, "Nah, you guys are okay. Nah, you're okay." And I'm a little warm. I said, "I'm going to throw the saw into the vacant lot. Screw this shit. So we get in the bucket, and by the time we get down to the street, everybody had been out of the building, and the roof let go. So
you've had your share of hairy moments on the roof there.
Yeah.
Luckily, you weren't working with Lou. He would have put you on the roof back in the day.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
you get one good job on the roof. You earn your money for the year, right?
Oh, you know that, man. You know that. But that was a close call, and that was, that's
Good
one
stuff, man.
that I
Good
wanted
stuff.
to put out there.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. But that's about it.
So you study with those fellas, and you get
Yeah.
promoted in 91?
91, yeah, April 6th, 91. Yep.
Right. And you're assigned to the 7th Battalion, ladder 21. So you're going from
when you first got promoted, then you had to do 30 days in the Social Club Task Force, Cap.
Yep.
So we ran out of 43 trucks quarters. You had the PD and the building department. That was, just for 30 days. But, we got our assignments at the end of 30 days. And, I was hoping to, get up to the 6th or the 7th Division, and then I wound up in the 7th Battalion. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Don't they know who I am?
Yeah. Hold on a minute.
Well, wrong.
Petey was wrong.
That is wrong. And he did the wrong thing.
God, I missed that guy.
So I go to the 7th Battalion, and I get the R group there. And it was 3 and 12, 1 and 24 over by the Garden, 26 engine in the Garment District, and 34 and 21 over by the Lincoln Tunnel. And I'm working straight doors and carrying my my Army backpack on the Long Island Railroad and walking from one place to the next. But I'm like, all right, this is cool. I'm up for anything. And do that for a while. I'm covering 24 truck early on, and I think I was just getting ready to start studying for captain again, But I'm an early riser. I come down in the morning, 24 and 1 and 24's quarters, and make myself a cup of coffee. Who comes walking in? It's Father Michael Judge.
Oh shit!
And he was across the street at St. Francis, Assisi, and he kept his car in quarters. We had the Manhattan Borough Commander in quarters there in the 3rd Division, the old 3rd Division. And Michael Judge, that man was beautiful. You met him the first time, you felt like you knew him your whole life. And the guy, he had an ability about him to make you feel like you were the most important person in the world. I mean, this guy didn't even know who I was. And in 5 minutes, he had my whole life down. It was just crazy, and then, bounced around for a while. And then, I'm trying to get uptown, 43 truck, 53 engine, they were in the old 3rd Division, but, I went to see Chief Dunn. Nah, you're not getting up there, so the captain of 21 truck was this guy, Tommy Healy, who was one of the charter members of Ladder 175. And early on, he's like, Jimmy, I got a guy getting promoted. I'd like you to come over here. And I'm like, hi, Tom, but, I just got promoted. I want to see, I want to feel my way around Manhattan before I get, going to a company that quick. So bounced around for a while, 16 engine. I did my first, 16 truck, rather, Kev. I did my first tour as lieutenant in 16 truck when they were in that temporary quarters.
Oh, down the block when they were doing the firehouse over.
Right by the armory there.
Yeah, with all the rats.
The rats, yeah. I had my truck there. The rats ate all the wires off of off the spark plugs,
Yeah.
So, had a lot of fun there. I met some great guys there too. That was one of my go-to places. 13 truck, 22 and 13. That awesome group of guys there.
Yeah.
You'd catch some fire duty going up north. But after a while, it kind of got old, and I saw Tommy Healy at Iraq, and I said, Cap, if you still got a spot there, I'd like to take you up on it. So I was in 21 the next day, and I had a great time there. It was there wasn't much fire duty around, but the fire that you did have were real oddballs. Real oddballs.
Thank God those guys do them. I'm out.
Yeah. The search ropes. If you didn't bring a search rope with you,
I love the triple sub sellers. I love them.
Yeah. I was working the night of the Super Bowl Sunday at Chase Bank where Hank and Bruce Newberry got their medals, and I think we won as an extra truck on the all hands, and Herbie Iser was on the board. And, you know, I got to know Herbie pretty well, and I said, "Got any special instructions for us as we're going in?" He goes, "Just get to the front of the building. It's out like 10 windows on the 7th floor." And I'm like, well, I told the guys, bring the search ropes and bring an extra bottle, you know, and we wound up going up, split the company, and I took the forcible entry team with me, and then the chauffeur, the OV, and the roof went to another stairwell. And 65 engine had the attack line in the stairwell. And we're going up this one staircase, and we run into Rescue One. It's Hank and Bruce and Steve Casani's the lieutenant. And he goes, "We need a line here." I said, "There's no standpipe in this stairwell, Steve." And they opened the door, and I was like, whoa, it's a wall of fire. And they closed it back, and I said, "Listen, we're going up to like the 16th floor or whatever." And I said, if you're opening that door, let me know, you know.
Yeah. Do not open that door.
You know, like every 2 or 3 floors, I was calling Cassani, "You open that door yet?" He goes, no. You know, so we wound up getting up there, and we were in these open, we get reports of people trapped, you know, cleaning people, and all this open floor area with cubicles. Okay, and it's pretty charged. So I'm like, this is not going to be good. And you know, we wound up, you know, we just came up with it. One guy stays at the stairwell, and you know, we went in with the search ropes, and you know, we just kept piggybacking up. We went from like the search and evacuation post, and we kept working our way up. And then the guys, the chauffeur and the OV and the roof guy wound up getting the guy from 16 truck. He had given a mayday, and they were able to get to him. So. That was pretty wild night.
Those are hairy jobs. Like I said,
yeah.
When you get them, it's kind of like the ones you really don't want to be at.
Yeah. But 21 was, you know, there were great guys there. You know, my chauffeur was this guy Jerry Gavin, tremendous guy. You know, couple of the young guys really wanted to get into it. You know, Colin O'Neill, Chris Walsh. Juan Marrero, you know, these guys were just chomping at the bit, and I'm like, you got to go uptown, you got to transfer. You're not going to see the fire duty here. But the jobs we caught were pretty crazy. You know, Rescue One. I worked with. Hank was there, but Jimmy Ellison Sr. was a lieutenant there. You know, we'd run in with 4 truck. We had a really good job one night on 42nd Street. It's out like 4 windows, and you know, once again, Bobby Turner is in the picture. He's a lieutenant, 24 truck, and Jim Ellison Sr. You know, the floor above was a Collier's mansion. I'll never forget it. We get to the door, and we pop the door, and I get this guy, Jimmy Shannon, on the irons. He's got a couple of years, and I had a detail from like 40 engine. The guy was a Proby, and I'm like, where's the camera? I don't know, Lou. I'm like, oh. I said, this ain't good. I said to Jimmy, I said, go find that kid. And I'm going in this Collier's mansion, making a search, and you know, it wound up going like a second, third alarm. The kid was down on the half landing. You know, I had told him to take the window on the half landing as we were going up, and he you know, he had come up, but it worked out great. But you learned real quick, it's not about you; it's about everybody. You know, make sure everybody's safe. You know, but that was probably the toughest fire we had there. That you know we were you know. First dude, we were second dude. 4 truck got in before us.
Especially if you got a kid who's not used to doing that, you know. Right.
But we had one funny story in 21 truck with we're in the Garment district. We get a call for a stuck elevator on a Sunday morning. You know, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, who's in a stuck elevator in the Garment district? So we get there, and back then, they had a company that came around, would open the doors for you. I think they were part of the insurance company. You know, they would let you in. So we went in. It's like a 20-story building. And roof guy goes up to the roof. I said, let's start working our way up, see if we can find this elevator. There's nobody in the building, you know. So I said, this has got to be, you know, this ain't happening. So the roof guy goes, Cap, Lou, I hear some guys, you know, on 7 or whatever the floor was, 7, 8, 9, whatever. I said, all right, we're working our way up. And the car's between the 2 floors, you know, and you can hear people in the car. So I called the roof guy. You got the power off? Yeah, power's off. We had a scissor ladder with us, and I think Carl O'Neill was working. And he goes down on top of the car, pops the hatch. He starts laughing, and I'm like, dude, what's going on? He goes, you're not going to believe this. He goes, he puts the ladder down into the car, and first guy comes up, big. He's a big guy. He's, 250, comes out of the hatch. He's pretty excited. All right, get him. We, get him on a rope and get him up on the floor. And I said, how many guys are in here? He goes, there's 5 of us. And he says, they're all big. And I said, they're all big? Bigger than you? He goes, yeah, bigger than me. So the next guy comes out. He's like 3 bills. And we were just about getting him through the hatch on the elevator. Get him up. And the other guys are still, the other guys are still screaming in the car. And I'm like, tell your friends to stop screaming. They sound like little girls here, So,
tell your sister to stop screaming in there, will you?
Put your big boy panties on, would you, for God's sakes?
Make a long story short, we were there for like 2 hours getting these guys out. And once they were out, we had them laughing, I said, I lined up. Who's the skinny one here? It was, I'm telling you, it was hilarious.
Be sweating in there, no doubt.
Oh my, it was pretty rough.
Oh man. How long were they in there for? Were they in there a while?
Yeah, it must have been, they must have been in there for a bit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But you pull up at a loft building in the garment district, you're not expecting this. And it was an adventure,
Yeah, they just came from a Dorito eating contest.
Something like that.
Nathan's
a Twinkie party or something.
Twinkie party. Yeah.
But 21 was, 21 was, great shop. I enjoyed every minute there. But
that's just playing crackers. That's what I'm saying.
Hey!
We're gonna need another one.
So what?
So you said to yourself, I gotta make a move.
I think it's time I gotta make the move.
The captain's list came out, took the captain's test. I was typical. I was in the upper third of the bottom of the bottom of the list. I was a bottom dweller, but it was okay. But I said, I got to make the move out of here. I'm just got to get back to dear old Brooklyn. So I had a couple of hooks going on. And
made a couple of calls.
Yeah. You go here. I said, I want to go here. Nah, you're not going there. You're going to wait for the next order. Typical, like trying to get to 175. I put my paper in, and then the guy's in 21. Yeah, sure, Lou, you ain't leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally got the spot in 174.
That's Louis' spot. Where are they? That's your.
That's my sleeper spot.
That's your go-to spot.
That's my guy. If I was recommending somebody to get on the job today, that's where they would go.
Snyder Island.
Snyder Island, man.
Sleeper spot. Great firehouse. Great tradition.
Louis,
great fires.
Take the wheel, Louis.
Yeah, I got it.
I go in there, I get the spot, and Roger Beal is the captain. I knew Roger. He was a fireman at 120. He had covered in 175 for a while when he was first lieutenant. He was 133, 132 as a lieutenant, and then he got the spot 174. So, he
never saw any fire either.
Yeah, to this day, I spoke to him today. He's
Holy Christ.
He's one of my dear friends, and I said, I'm going to put in for the spot, Roger. He goes, I said, if you don't want me to put in, I won't put in. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I don't know, who you want, this and that. He goes, nah, Jim, you get the spot. We'd love to have you here, Make a long story short, there was 2 spots open. So I got one of the spots. And
what year was that?
That was in 94, spring of 94, right around there, Louis. But
nice.
My first tour, I come in for the night tour. I relieved Roger, like 5 o'clock. And, I said, anything I should know. He goes, you know what, let's wait 30 days. Then we'll go down the roster and, I'll see if you and I are on the same page. I said, okay, fair enough. So I go down, I relieve him, box comes in, and, it's still a day tour. Guy jumps in the cab. Hey, Lou, you're the new guy? Hey, I'm so-and-so. pull out of quarters, make the left out of quarters. We're flying down Snyder Avenue. We get to Kings Highway, and there's a service road on a Kings Highway.
Yeah.
Well, we catch a torpedo on the service road.
Oh my God!
Some guy hits us on the chauffeur side.
Oh my God!
Boom! And I'm like, oh man.
I'm getting nervous. I'm
It
getting
can't
nervous.
get any worse than this, you know. I'll start off with a bang, and the guys, I didn't even meet the guys on the back step, like, oh, you're the new lieutenant, Danny McSwigan, a couple of guys, Michael Kildoff, and then the 5'8" was in quarters with us back then. So the 5'8" is coming behind us, and the chief in the 5'8", this guy Frank Sikorsky, real gentleman. He goes, hey, Lou, you the new guy? I said, yeah, chief. He says, welcome to 170, welcome to Snyder Island. And he goes, the rest of the night I'm doing a CD19. And,
it's a whole day. It's a whole
9 yards.
Yeah, it's a whole night. Go pick up the police report, all that shit.
We go back to quarters. Who's tapping out? I'm doing 72s and the CD19,
getting nervous.
Roger's walking. He's got his civvies on. He's walking out the door. He goes, have fun tonight, James.
How bad was the rig? Was it serviceable?
It was. We took the Hearst tool out, bent it out a little bit. It was fine, But
there you go. So at least you didn't have to go out of service.
No. But that place was, when I got there in '94, it was just like the beginning of the legends that came through that place. Roger was the captain, like I said to you before the show started. Between him and Patty McAvoy,
I was going to say McAvoy was there, right? Yep.
McAvoy came after Beeler retired, and between Roger Beeler and Patty McAvoy, I think there were like 32 years of the captains of that company, just two guys.
That means a lot. I tell you, that means a lot to the house. I mean, I know guys move and they study and stuff, but the longer guys stay in a place, I think it's good for the house. You know what I mean? It gives them consistency as opposed to flipping through offices in a short term.
Yeah. It was just like I said. It was one of the best kept secrets. All occupied work, it was a Jimmy Walker firehouse with the engine, the truck, and the battalion in quarters. The battalion, had the back of the second floor, and it was just tremendous. The guys that were there were, Wally Blum was my chauffeur, who, top 5 guy, Bobby Turner. Wally Blum's right there. Wally and I for 4 years, like we were on the same page at every fire. I didn't have to tell him, like, hey, 174 the chauffeur. Wally would say, I got it, Jimmy, and it was made my job easy. I just showed up.
That's great.
Guys did their job, man. I was just along for the ride and, loving every minute of it, man, We had guys, Danny McSwigan, senior guy, Tommy Woods, went on to win the James Gordon Bennett Medal. He's the lieutenant of the job. Kieran Kilduff, he's the chief. And then we lost some guys too. Jimmy Garrity, dear friend of mine, he passed away 5 years ago. Mike Duffy, Billy Gormley, they're all WTC guys. The work was unbelievable there. Another gem. You're
not doing too bad.
Yeah. I'm doing. Yeah.
And you still got a good one to go. Believe me.
Yeah. And then one quick story there. You remember when they had the transfers? If a guy wanted to move from another company, you could send a guy from your house to
they would swap for like 90 days or something, right?
Like no, they would transfer you.
Oh, really? All right, yeah.
We had a guy that was down at 323. This guy Mauricio Suarez, Mo Suarez. He's about 6'4", and we're like, we got to get him here. So we got a guy that was getting promoted. We said, why don't you transfer down here and let us get Suarez? So we bring Mo comes on board, and he is unbelievable guy. So one of his first tours, he's got the can and Garrity's got the iron. So I go, listen, Mo, if we catch something, you just stay right with me. Don't leave my side, okay? You hang on, let's go. So, we get a box like Snyder and East 34th Street. It's pushing pretty good. I think the 401 had the job. Yeah, they did, because, we go up, pop the door, and I look at Garrity. I go, I said, Jackass, where's your helmet? Oh, shit. I said, go back and get your helmet. So I go to Suarez. Let's go, bro. We're going. Boom, we're in. It's pretty sloppy, you know. And, you know, I can see the flyer. It's up in the front. You know, it's like 4 rooms. And I'm crawling. I'm like, I feel like my coat, my bunker gear, I'm getting hung up. I'm like, what? I can't move.
He's hanging on you.
I'm taking my Sanilla tool and I'm swinging and I'm trying to free myself. And I hear this guy screaming, So, you know, then I realized it was Mo.
What you told him.
I said, Mo, let go. He goes, you told me to hold on, Lou. So, I mean, that was priceless, you know. And after that, you know, Mo, you know, he was an asset to 174. He's a great guy. You know, it was really cool.
Cap, when did the 5'8" move into 257?
I got promoted in '98, and I don't. That's a good question, Louis. You know, I wouldn't want to say for sure which one. I don't know if they left before I got promoted or right after that. You know, but you know, the 5'8", you know, the guys who came through 174 as officers, company officers, Gil Frank, Richie Allies, Brian Foley, Danny Mundy.
Wow.
Those guys, they were all lieutenants, and Gil was a lieutenant, 174, the captain at 310. Those guys all went to the 5'8". So you had continuity there. You know, these guys knew the area.
Right. That's a big thing.
I mean, Gil was one of the, you know, he was the first one to go down here with, you know, it was Ralph Leosi, Sikorsky, a couple other guys. Ike Johnson was another guy. But those guys, Richie Allies and Brian Foley just retired. Brian was my 24 partner. We had a contract in to get him to 174. He was a home run, and he went on to become the battalion commander down to 5'8". He just got out. Great guy. Yeah.
How do you compare or contrast or the same 175 and 174? What would stand out to you most as different? What, you know, in both places?
No, you're a fireman in 175, so
right.
You know,
yeah, I mean,
you're not thinking anything. You're the boss. You know,
and I'm talking about in the ways they operated, or the culture, or anything that stands out. Is there anything different, or are they just both ghetto trucks? Like,
they were both ghetto trucks. You know, a lot of pride. You know, like on previous shows, you talk about, you know, you're with that company now, so you're. That's
you were running in with 175 when you were in 174.
Well,
you know,
we'd be doing everything. We'd be doing everything to beat him into the box. You know, and you know, that's just the way it was. You know.
That's Mike Everett's. That was his favorite line.
Yeah,
like, I'm with these guys. These are my guys. That's it.
And I was like, that's
it. No doubt about it.
So true.
These are my guys now, and that's it. I don't care.
Yeah. But no, that was just a tremendous place, you know. And I tell you what, you know, when I got the call, I was going to get promoted. I was like, I don't want to leave here, you know. Telling Roger Beeler, I said, I'm not taking it. I'm staying here, you know.
And that's a sweet spot too. Like 4 or 5 years, you know. That's usually when you start to feel a little comfortable. You know, you got enough guys, and you know.
Yeah. It's, you know, Roger's going, Jimmy, you're getting promoted, man, because I'm not dealing with Debbie, my wife, if you don't take that promotion. You know?
Yeah,
and,
it's tough. It's tough.
It was that really hurt leaving there. That was tough.
Well, you didn't do too bad after that either. By the way, you know.
Yeah. You know,
you did all right too. You keep landing on your feet. You know.
One door opens, another one door closes, another one opens. They say, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So. That was great. 174 will always have a warm spot in my heart.
Yeah,
you see
no doubt.
Guys' sons that are there now, and
the captain's son is there. Or I don't even know if he's there anymore. Did he go to 252? I don't remember.
McAvoy's son. I think
he's in Rescue 2.
He's in Rescue 2.
Right.
Yeah.
So if do you go back to any of the places now? Do you go back to parties or no?
Not really, Kev. You know, you're out. You know, I'm out so long. I don't know. You know, I mean, I went to, you know, a couple of plaque dedications for guys from 9/11, and you know,
if they had a big reunion or something, you might go back because you knew a lot of guys would be there, but you're not going back to parties and stuff.
Yeah. Actually, 310, 174 every year on March 10th they have a reunion in Rockville Center, but with the
310.
COVID and everything, they canceled
Yeah.
it. Yeah, March 310. Yeah.
Well, I just went back. We just went to Metal Day. Was it yesterday? I walked in the
Yesterday.
firehouse, and I'm gonna say there was like 8 or 9 guys I never saw before in my life.
Well, you're out quite a ways already, man.
Me, 7 years.
Yeah, I mean it's a long time.
Yeah.
People rotate out typically what after 5 years in most places. You guys say usually, right? Like 5-6 years.
Well, if they get promoted or if they transfer or
Right.
Some guys are there for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just interesting though, because after 7 years, I would imagine that's like one generation of firefighters.
I
that you
guess,
missed out,
yeah.
And it seems like yesterday to you, especially because we do the show, we talk about it a lot, but
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So I get promoted in '98, and I get the phone call from downtown. You're going in as the captain's management program. Eddie Garrity calls me. He was Von Essen's XO. Eddie was a dear friend of mine. We lost him on 9/11. And he goes, Jimmy, we're going to put you in city planning. So I go, what city planning? What are you talking about?
And do I get
You're going
24?
to take me out of 174,
Yeah.
and you're going to put me in city planning.
Yeah.
I work.
Great.
Put me out at the Rock. I'll teach you at the Rock. No, you're going to city planning.
Yeah, right.
I said, what's city planning? He says, give so-and-so a call. So I made a couple phone calls, and they're like, take the job, So off I go, and we're in headquarters for like a few days, paperwork, whatnot. And city planning was over in Tillery Street, up on the second floor. I worked with a guy named Jerry Wren. Jerry was a sweetheart. He was captain at the time. And city planning, you're the liaison for the fire department with every Brooklyn Borough President's office. You comment on anything coming up. Any new construction in the 5 boroughs, we would get the plans from the architect, and we'd comment on that. We worked for Pete Cansey. Pete Cansey was the chief operations at the time, and I knew Pete, and he's like, Jimmy, the most important thing is you keep me from getting in trouble, because I'm going to just sign report or letters or whatever. Something's foobar, you got to let us know. So I said, okay, chief, fair enough.
All right, hold on, Ruffy, hold on. Keep that right in the back of your mind there. Pete can't. So when he tells you where he gets a spot now we know.
No, there's none of this going on. I already listen. It's already there, kid. It's
He
already
dropped it
there.
right there. Just keep that little name. Oh, Chief.
Oh, Chief, and by the way,
okay.
there's a spot that's opening up.
Sorry, Cap. Go ahead.
So, we go over there, and there were like two or three projects that we worked on that were pretty interesting. And I tell you, to not work in, everybody wants to be in a firehouse. More fires the better. But the program did give you an opportunity to see how headquarters operates, and it kind of opened your eyes up. You met a lot of different people, which helped me down the line. But we did a couple of interesting projects, capital improvement projects for the city, the Esplanade that went around Lower Manhattan. We would go there and, get the admin deputy, admin battalion, come on site inspection. And we'd look at these things like, what's the worst case scenario? How do we make it better for the first arriving units? 3 a.m, wintertime, road access. What's the width of the roads? Where are the hydrants? What size mains do we have? Lower Manhattan, you'd see these bollards they would put in. They got into closing streets down, so they would have outdoor tables and what have you. But, we still need to get apparatus into some of these areas. So that was interesting. We did a lot of good stuff down there to protect the brothers. Couple of other things out in Staten Island, let's go out there and go meet with the deputy and the battalion out there. And I always looked at it, and Jerry taught me this, worst case scenario, 3 a.m, it's snowing. What's wrong with this picture?
Yeah, right.
Let's make sure that the brothers have everything available for them, So we did a lot of that stuff, and that was interesting stuff, reading blueprints, because these construction sites, they couldn't do any work until the fire department signed off on it. DEP would give us, these plans, and they wanted our comments, like how long is the road? Do we have a turnaround? Do we have a cul-de-sac? Do we have a hammerhead turn? So that was interesting to comment on that kind of stuff. We had one real interesting project. There were a bunch of homes that were already built, and they were private dwellings, and I'm not going to say where they were, but the guy wants the approval. And we're like, you're not getting the approval. What size mains you got? You don't have turnarounds, this and that. So we're up in headquarters. We're talking to Chief Gansey and Chief Donald Burns. And Donald Burns was another guy. He was a charter member of 175. He was a lieutenant.
So you're talking to Pete and Donnie up in headquarters. All right.
Who are those guys anyway? Are they anybody big on the job?
Pete
Donald Burns. Donald Burns was one of the smartest men in the fire service that I ever met. So Jerry and I are there talking, and he goes, you guys go down to fire prevention, the library, and look up NFPA 13 David.
Donnie and Pete.
So I go, NFPA 13 David, what's that, Chief? He goes, go look it up. So we spent the better day in the fire prevention library, and NFPA 13 David is fully sprinkled private dwellings, which we never had in the city up until that point. So, next day, we go up to headquarters, knock on the door up there in operations, and said, I know what NFPA 13 David is. And he says, all right, you go back to the architect and tell him he's got to conform with this. So we made a phone call to the architect, and he goes, what's NFPA 13 David? I said, I'm going to tell you the same thing I was told. Go look it up.
Look it up.
Within a week, we had a whole new set of plans, revised plans, and a footprint of every building that they'll totally conform with fully sprinkled private dwellings. We brought it back up to operations, and they were like, "You got to be kidding me! This is historic. We never had this before." It was pretty interesting. So those were my
CP
admin days.
CP as
Hank
would call it. He calls me CP. Yeah. We did another job on St. John's University when they did the dormitories, and we kind of fought with them about sprinkler heads in the public hallways. We wanted the sprinkler a head extended into the dorm room, and there was a little bit of a pushback, but we made that go away. But that was it. I mean, I did it for 6 months, and then I went back. They put us in a manpower pool, which was awesome. Out of, you get your 144 hours in a cycle. I mean, I worked anywhere. I didn't care. Some guys, I only want to work or, what division I was in. I was like, bro, and I can do 24s. I'm going anywhere.
Good to see a lot of those places like that, right?
And I worked in like 59 truck, 43 and 59, I think it was. Caught some ass kicking work up there with those guys, and it was just to see the Bronx, to see different parts of the city was tremendous. Harlem, it was. I wish I stayed there for like 3 years. It was awesome. Oh, where do you want to work? I'll work over here.
That's a great gig. That style, and you're working you're getting 24s too. That's a great thing.
Yeah. I didn't care where I was working, but it worked out great. But that came to a screeching halt maybe after 4 months, and then I got assigned to the 13th Division, and which new guy there, and your essay every tour, and it's your turn in the barrel,
Yeah.
And did that for a while. Did a couple of vacations, and I'm like, I'm not getting a spot here. This, it ain't happening, So I'm like, what am I going to do, So the phone ring.
Hold on.
Rings.
Let me call.
Hello?
Petey or Donnie.
Oh, Donnie.
No, it wasn't.
Donnie.
Hey, Mom!
The meatloaf! It wasn't those guys, but no. I had the captain of 102 was retiring, Jimmy Marr. He was a 28 and 11 guy, tremendous, really nice gentleman. You know, he's well-respected fire officer. So the guys in the 5-7, Dennis Cross, Mike Canty, Rod O'Connor. You know, I worked with Rod. He was a captain of 12 truck. Mike was 65 engine. Dennis Cross, oh my God, that guy. I love that man. You know, he was, he's a guy that knew that part of Brooklyn. You know, he's a fireman there. You know, he's a lieutenant 102.
Yeah, we talked about him a lot.
Fireman 105, lieutenant 102, captain 102, and 5-7 battalion. You know, his best buddy is a dear friend of mine, Brian O'Flaherty. Brian was the captain of Rescue 1. Brian and Dennis grew up together. You know, they said, you want to come to 102? So I was like, okay, when's that going to happen? No, you start next week. So I tell my wife I'm going into Bed-Stuy. She goes, haven't you had enough?
Never.
Nope.
Never enough.
I said, not yet. So
Now, 209 was gone already when you got there?
no, 209 was there.
They were still
Yeah,
there?
they were still there.
Okay.
This was in, let's see, when did I go?
Hold on, I'll find out.
99. I went to, like the end of 99. No, beginning of 99. I went to 102, thereabouts.
Right.
So I'm there. One of the first phone calls I get, hey, bro, this is Philly. You know, Chief Bro.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Ciravino.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, you know, I'm bro. I said, okay, bro. Yeah, Philly Ciravino. I said, yeah. He goes, I'm coming here UFO. I said, all right, I'm here UFO. I don't come, you know. I talked to Chief Cross and Chief Burns. I knew Donald Burns. Phil Burns, rather. Phil Burns. I'm sorry. He was 11th Division. So Philly shows up. And I'm like, this is going to be some ride, man. You know, Philly's, you know, Group 2. He's got Rads as his chauffeur.
Oh my God, Richie Rads.
You know, Rads and Croce. I got Dennis Pace. Dennis was my chauffeur. I mean, that house.
So many senior guys, man.
Senior guys.
And Sardi was
Danny
there.
and Sardi, Richie Croce, Joe Mondello. Ray Pollard.
Ray was the best, man.
You know, Dennis Pace. Oh, man. Bobby Leibel. Those guys, you know what? It was like, you know, like Phil said when he was on, you just along for the ride, man, you know?
Cap, you know, my first tour was there. My first tour as lieutenant was there, right?
I know. What year was that, Lou?
I got promoted. I was there working June of 02. So you were there. I was trying to remember if I remember Chief Bro. I don't know if maybe I was doing a vacation. I know I did a few vacations there. And
was he the captain in 209 then?
He was.
Yeah,
and they were they must have left a little bit right after that, because I remember they were getting to pick their spots, you know, wherever the guys were going. I do remember that part. Again, it was all blurry. I was a kid, man. I didn't but I told the story that I had 5 guys with over 20 years on the, you know, 6 guys, you know, 5 guys with me. And I remember Captain Murphy told me, you know, just go up in the office and see what, you know. I went down there with the BF4 like this, you know, giving it to Croce. Those guys holy shit, man.
Pete, can you put up the picture of 102?
You got it, boss. It's actually queued up. Boom.
Yeah. This is early on. I got the spot in 2000, and this is, you know, we'd run in with 111 predominantly. You know, that's
make
Chris
a right
Gregory,
turn out of quarters, right?
Make a right,
make a left
against traffic, and make the left onto.
You did that every tour, bro. Every tour.
Yeah. Sometimes we'd go a little further, but it'll depend what box we go in. But that's Chris Gregory on the left, Danny and Sardi, Kevin Williams, you know, real hard charger, Kevin, Bobby Magnuson, and Buddy Dowd. Buddy, you know, he's beautiful. Chris Gregory's dad was the communications commissioner. He had a couple brothers on the job. Steve Gregory, his other brother, he was a 111 Rescue 2 guy. I'm just drawing a blank on his first name. Just tremendous guys, you know. And you know, there's just a great trip down memory lane.
It's a great house.
Just thinking about those guys.
You go full circle. You start in a single truck and you end up in a single truck.
Yes, it was a single truck.
Right?
Yeah, yes, it was. That was a very dark time when they closed the company. You know, 209, 212, 204, 261. Yep. You know, that was not a good time. You know, after 9/11, it really was really tough. You know, but you know, I loved it there so much, and then unfortunately I got hurt on a job, and kind of threw a little speed bump into your career. You know, I got hit with a HUD seal from 3 floors up, and got banged up pretty good. You know, broke all my ribs, had a collapsed lung.
Wow.
I went to Bellevue. Bellevue sent me home, and nothing wrong with you. Yeah, and I get home and they're like, "You got to come back to the hospital." I said, well, "I'm not coming back there." You know, so I was in the local hospital by where I live out on the island. I was in there for like 10 days, but you know, that was tough. It was vacant building, HUD seals. I could hear them banging. It's November of '99, November 16, '99, and I'm telling the guy, companies hold off on the HUDs. We're going in the back. There's a courtyard to a basement, and the 5-7 said, "See," he said, "I think the fire's in the basement, Jimmy." I said, "All right, we'll get in there." And it was an iron gate, and then the door. We got the iron gate open. We get in the door, and that's when the HUD seal came down, hit me, hit Bobby Magnuson, is in that picture as well.
Holy shit!
And I had a rotation kid with me as well. But we just about made it up out of that courtyard.
Wow.
And Bobby Gallione, Rescue 2, did a tremendous job, you know, getting me out of there. You know, I knew Bobby from 176, and to this day, tremendous guys. So I was out for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months, you know, and I'm like, you know, I'm dying to go back, you know, worked my way back finally. And I think like the second week I'm back, I get burnt at a vacant. I don't have my freaking glove on. My hand's up like a fucking softball, you know. So I'm like, shit. Now put my hand in my pocket. We go when we put the fire out. I come out. I gotta go to the burn center. And I just, you know, my back was never the same. My neck really was an issue. So you know, when I went down to medical office, you know, I was doing the burn center, the outpatient stuff, and said to one of the doctors, I said, "Remember when I got hurt?" And he goes, "Yeah, so we're going to send you for some more tests." And you know, she came back and she goes, "We're going to put you out." And I'm like, "Whoa, wait a minute! It's Tuesday. Let's be nice to Fat Captain Tuesday." You know, I said, "I got to go back to work. I got 3 kids that are in high school. They're going to college. You know, the whole bit." And I went back to work, and you know, kept working. And 9/11 came. You know, I just got to the point. You know, we got rocked on 9/11. You know, there, but for the grace of God, you know, we didn't lose anybody on Bedford Avenue. But you know, the battalion got crushed, and like we all know, that was a rough time. You know, to say the least, for all of us. You know, and you know, 9/11. That was a tough day, man. You know.
How is Chief Travers? I talked to Lois about him. Was he was the sweetest, and again, he really was such a nice guy, man. I mentioned his name a lot. I'd like to get him on the show. He was such a great guy. He helped me when I first got there, and every time I would run into him, his name always stuck out to me. There's always guys that stick out to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. When you're bouncing around.
Yeah, he's 102 guy.
Yeah, he was a 102 guy.
He was recruited by Dennis Cross to come up to the 5'7". Yeah.
I told you that time I had the box. Everybody had cut sleeves, and he got out of the truck, out of the rig, and I'm like, oh my God, I was brand new, you know, and I never had the right uniform on. I told that before. Yeah. But now I'm a boss, and I'm like, holy shit. And he came over. I introduced myself to him. He's like, Louie, welcome to the battalion. If you need anything, let me know. Whatever, blah blah blah. And then I come back and I tell Croce. I had both the chauffeurs too in my, the times I was there. And I think it was Croce. He says, I say to him, holy shit, man, I was nervous. I said, everybody has cut sleeves. He's like, he's a 102 guy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's one of us. Yeah.
I went back. I cut my sleeves off.
Eddie Travers, real gentleman.
Eddie, yeah.
Tremendous fireman too. Yeah.
Was Mark Ferran there as a lieutenant when you were there?
No.
Oh, all right.
No. I had Philly Ciravino, Larry Quinn Sr., and Bruce Silas was in 102 when I got there. And then who else did we get along the way? Pat Abatelli came, and Frankie Nolan from 120. We got him just before 9/11. Frank's a solid man.
I talked about Ray Pollard a lot. He was such another guy, just the real deal. You know what I mean? I seen that guy. I mean, I seen him make a move in a crappy spot, and he made a great. He made a couple of grabs, and I think I've talked about that on the show too. And he didn't get anything for it, And then I seen him a few times when he was getting out. He was in the rack unit, Nick and Queens. I would see him at jobs and stuff like that. He always remembered me.
Yeah,
real deal.
He's a top 5 guy.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
Richie Rads, that whole company, man, they were all superstars. Danny and Sardi, just hard charging guys, man.
I was glad I got to meet those guys when I did that. I really was special.
Like Philly said, sit back and enjoy the ride.
Oh my God!
It was
Richie's driving. He told me not to touch the MDT.
Don't touch the MDT.
Just like
Dennis
that.
Dennis Pace would tell me the same thing. Cap, don't touch it. I got it. All right, Dennis.
I mean, I had no, and I was, of course not. No, like he's like, Lou, I wasn't don't touch it. Don't touch the MDT. Just like that, he said it too, Coops. Just like that. Don't touch the MDT. Right?
Then I mean, I couldn't see. I thought I had my glasses on. I couldn't see. I go, Dennis, what's the box? 934, whatever. I said, then what was it again? I'm trying to write it down on the slip. If I got to tell a dispatcher, then I started leaving glasses on the rig, and I think the guys threw the glasses away.
The only reason I know that left turn, you make the right out of quarters going against traffic, and then that left turn is because I was like hanging on because the rig was, it was hanging
2
on.
Wheels.
Man. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. That's a wide street, though, down there by you on Bedford. That's a wide street.
Yeah,
so it's not that bad making that right out of quarters. Yeah,
I was just back there last year for the anniversary. I think it was 150 years or whatever it was. I'm a little forgetful, but when I went back there, I was like, this is the same area,
oh my God, the ship's
Williamsburg moved up into Bed, Bed-Stuy, and I was like,
just sipping cappuccino over there.
Yeah, this was like this. This wasn't here when I was here, but that was all good.
So that's what makes you go to Proby School, right? You banged up, and
I after 9/11, hung around. Trying, best we can, and got involved with helping the companies 9/11. I got involved with the family transport unit. Gil Frank and myself did all the buses for all of the for all the companies that lost brothers, and Wally. We've got vans for for everybody. So we did a lot of that stuff, and I couldn't leave the firehouse. So I stayed till. Like the summer of 2003, I was like, I just can't do this anymore. I can't put the mask on. Why don't you put your mask on? I said, you were there when I got hurt, Rod. I'm like, I can't wear it anymore, So the writing was on the wall. So
when it's time.
they were looking for a captain out at the Rock, and I was like, I never expected my career. You're going to be the captain of Proby School? Get the frick out of here! I ain't doing that shit. That's like
Yeah, you don't have to say it. We know
it ain't me.
Yeah.
So it was funny. I went for the interview, and I said, can I give you, give me a couple of days to think about it. And I'm driving my son up to Providence College, and my wife is like, did you call him back? Are you going to take the job? I said, I don't know. I think I just might pack it in. Screw it. She goes, you can't do that. So I said, all right. So we got off for 95 somewhere in Connecticut, and I called the Rock, and I said, if it's still available, I'll take it. And I was like, what am I getting myself into? But it was being out at the Rock was a great way of, like I said earlier, transitioning yourself from the firehouse to retirement. You're still part of the job. Yeah. And, you're helping rebuild the job, we had some tremendous instructors come out, I handpicked like Wally Blum, Roger retired. I said, Wally, you got to come out here, man. I just knew Wally's talent. And he goes, I don't know, Jimmy, they say you got to stay 6 months. I said, if you don't like in 6 minutes, I'll get you out of here, and he never left. He was a tremendous asset out there. And, there were like 60 instructors, and, it was just, I just loved all those guys, man. They brought so much to the table, teaching, Johnny Lennart, Matty Schmeeman, Bobby Leibel came out, guys, I said, come out, man. We got, let's put our stamp on this, let's, for our time here, let's put our stamp on it and let's put out a good product, So, it was funny. The first class, I'd rather crawl down a hallway than public speak. Yeah. So I'm like,
and look at you now.
You got, you got to get up in front of the class. There's like 375 guys there, and
Chief Sacamano.
Yeah, everybody comes down from headquarters for the promotion. So I'm like, all right, I got my class A's on, and I'm going down to the auditorium. There's like 12 guys standing outside. And Donnie Wunderlich is from 157. He's one of the DIs. I was like, Donnie, what are you doing with these guys? Get them inside. He says, Cap, they showed up late for the first day. He goes, I said, put them in the back of the room. Now I'm like, how am I going to deal with these knuckleheads, Go through the ceremony, the whole bit, I do my spiel. And I tell, Donnie, I said, get those guys up on the stage. So I says, these 12 individuals have the audacity to show up late.
Wow.
Your first day in the job. And I go into stories about guys that didn't come in on time, guys got hurt, guys got killed, So I said, you know what, we're going to have a AAA club. And I said, the first day is for an all-star, and I define what the all-star is. Next guy's anonymous. This is what you're going to do. You just come in, you do your job. I don't get to know you. You're anonymous. And I said, then is the assholes. And I said, these guys are the charter members of the asshole club. Mm-hmm. So they're all snickering, laughing, in the crowd. I said, go ahead, laugh. I said, I guarantee you after the first quiz, I'm going to have 24 of yous in here, So, 24. Yeah, exactly. So every week after an exam, whoever failed a quiz, 10 question quiz. How do you fail 10 question? Get up here, run through the whole dog and pony show again.
Get up here.
Those 12, they're out of the jackpot. The next ones are in, So, but, people were struggling. We helped them, Guys having a hard time, go home, do 20 questions, do them on a 3x5 card or piece of paper. Meet me at 5:30 in the morning. I'm going to go over the questions with you and help you get better. That's what we do. We, take care of everybody. And, we brought them along. But it was, I would always call them civilians. I said, you're civilians. I'll let you know when you're a fireman. Mm-hmm. So, it was rewarding at the end of 13 weeks of graduation, a family day, to see these guys and gals graduate and move on. And it was very rewarding. I was very proud of the guys that worked with me out there, because it's a team effort. It's not about any one person. I really, the year
you
one
could save those guys' lives, guys and girls, right? You could save their life, but what you're teaching them and how you go about it.
The civilians, the real civilians that they'll be saving, you're passing on life-saving knowledge. So I think teaching is one of the most rewarding things in the world. I mean, I've done a little bit myself, not like obviously what you were doing, but working with kids, doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu stuff. Actually, Kevin's kids, I taught them, and it's, you learn from teaching. You learn more than the students. It's amazing.
That is true.
But we had, Wally came out, like special ops, he was teaching, ropes or something. And, remember The Rock, building 9, there were weeds growing by the tunnels. The place it looked like a vacant building.
Disaster, right?
So walking around out there one day with Stevie Garrity and Wally, a couple of guys, and I'm like, we got to fix this place up. Building 11 is brand new, and we don't have anything to put in these buildings to do searches or whatever we were going to try to do with the PDs, with the high rise. And Wally goes, Jimmy, this is a dump. So I says, all right. Just knowing Wally from working with him on 174, he goes down to the museum downtown, and I don't know, he knows so many people. He goes, can I get a rack truck? I said, yeah. What do we'll get you a rack. What are you doing? He goes, don't worry. He goes down to the museum, and he made it. They weren't using some of these artifacts anymore. They were sitting in the basement there, just collecting dust.
There's a lot of that cool stuff there now.
Wally took all this stuff. He dug out all of the weeds and stuff between the tunnels, and he put all these things in with stone. He built that. When you
that
come
was
in
all
the gate,
him that did that. The cornice. He put the cornice there.
Yep. The front gate with the waterfalls at the towel ladder bucket.
Was Pete Toohey there as well at that time? Do you know Pete Toohey, 103? He was out there too. I know he was doing the bulldozer and the cranes and stuff. Or whatever.
Yeah. That was the special ops group. Yeah. Wally recruited a lot of those guys.
I wanted to take a moment also to show one of your projects that you built for the Rock, and it was that box.
Yeah.
You said box.
Not your old lady's box.
Oh.
Mamma mia.
This is an old pull box that I can't take credit for. Wally, this was another Wally production, and we got a hold of this. And our buddy Georgie Lenhardt's up in Manchester, Vermont. He did this in his shop. He took it down to the bare metal and redid this. And this box is out at Building 11.
Wow!
It's inside or outside?
It's outside. Yeah.
Here's the final photo here.
Wow!
Here's a picture of it, Louis, and that's George, and that's his grandson Aiden. And that box, as far as I know, is still there. And George did all of that himself. He wanted nothing in return. He'd worked in 69 engine for a short period of time, and he moved his family up to Manchester. And he would come down quite often. The Volleys up in Manchester, I got to know them on a first name basis. We had them, cutting cars up, blowing up shit out there, sliding off Building 1, the guys Grubby Bourne and, that whole group of guys up there, they were tremendous guys. They would come and stay at my house. George did this, and, he's a special guy. I spoke to him. He sent me all these pictures. And that's his grandson, Aiden, is now in grad school. Wow. He's going to be an engineer. That tells you how old we were. I said to George, I said, Georgie, happy belated birthday. He goes, Jimmy, I don't have birthdays no more.
Yeah, we're going backwards now, right? Wow. 39 forever.
Yeah. That's what I said to him. He's 39, But, we did that one. And then Mike Cacciola was the head of the fitness unit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mike, the lieutenant of fitness unit, another tremendous guy. His staff there, Pete the Greek, he was great with the Probies, and he do that piece from Troy. Troy, that video that's out there.
Come again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they had a bunch of steel out there from the trade center, and I said we got to try to get this steel. So Mike Cacciola, I think he took it along by himself. I know I'm forgetful. I don't remember all the particulars, but Mike, we got the steel. And he said, Jimmy, I got like 3 pieces of steel. We're going to make a pull-up bar out of the steel.
Yeah, cool. That's
so this guy from 42 truck came. He was a welder, and he torched the whole thing. He cut out pieces of steel. I was fortunate enough to get a piece of steel from them. But we put a plaque up there that you're going to do pull-ups on the back of Heroes here, and it really came out sharp. I wish I could have found a picture.
Every time I used to go past there, I used to see guys for the Probies always doing pull-ups on that thing all the time now.
Yeah, Mike had the platform there when doing the calisthenics and everything, and then right there was the pull-up bar. It came out beautiful.
Oh, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was
So you had a pretty good career there, Cap. You did all right.
Yeah. It was.
Guys will cut their pinky toe off for that one. You know?
I loved every minute of it, Louis. You know, and my wife, when I would leave for work, you know, some guys their wives knew everything that was going on. I didn't tell anybody. It's only up until the last couple of years I started telling stories that my kids were like, "What?"
Yeah,
you know,
right.
My wife was, "You never told me that," and I'm like, "Yeah, you know, you didn't need to know."
Exactly.
You know, and you know, my wife would, you know, she's my best friend, and she just would tell me when I left for work, she'd go, "Have fun."
Yep.
I said, "Okay, Mom." You know, and there she is, my beautiful wife, my best friend.
God
Sweet.
bless.
42 years in June.
Holy
Wow.
Yeah,
Woman's a saint.
and I never want to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never want to fight.
It feels like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
5 minutes underwater.
After about 35 years, I finally realized I got to say yes, dear, and everything was okay.
Oh,
you know?
that's
happy
35
wife,
years
happy
faster than
life,
me,
you
that's
know?
for sure.
Yeah, it only took me 3 wives to figure that out. That's awesome.
My father-in-law gave me that advice like 20 years ago, and it's just starting to kick in.
Yeah, it's just starting to kick in.
You still have your, you know, your oomph when you're young.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Is it that time?
I think
I miss the job. I'd go back in a minute. I'd tell you sooner.
Yep.
Well, you know what,
Petey, before you go any further, if you could throw up the picture of my wife and my grandkids, I'd appreciate it.
Listen, I got you right here. Easy peasy.
Yeah, this was last summer. There's my truck company there. Regan's she's the boss. The 4 other boys, Connor, Brennan, Reed, and Graham.
Beautiful.
They are awesome. They come to the house now. You know, we watch a few of them every week, Monday to Friday.
Wait a minute.
I make them.
Graham? His name is Graham?
Yeah, the one all the way on the right is Graham. Yeah.
Well, I hope that's your daughter's name and it's not Graham.
No, that's my daughter's son.
All
Her
right.
last name's Sluka.
Graham.
I got them. I make them stand roll call, close intervals, dress right, dress. You know,
Nice.
the whole thing going on.
They're adorable.
Beautiful thing.
And then we just had number 6 like 5 weeks ago. We had another boy, Dylan Michael.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
So there's life after the fire department, right, Cap?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There is.
Like
Life is good.
like you get to
Life
go
is
on
good.
on a world famous firefighter show now. How about that?
Yeah.
Them apples.
Pretty good.
All right,
Pretty
Petey.
good.
Now it's time, Petey.
Well,
All right.
let's continue the great tradition of teaching with today's old school tip of the day. It's all yours, Cap.
Do it.
Okay. This was my mind was in like 20 different directions. I thought I'd have more of them than Squiddy did, when John Calamari. But
Oh, you can never do that. There's no way.
I pad it down. The first quote is important to me. That is out at the Rock. Let no man's ghost say his training let him down. And then my biggest thing is to pass on to these guys is size up. Size up begins with the receipt of the alarm until the fire's under control. I believe that's how it used to be known. But I would like to, guys, I know you had a guy on a show that they were putting this computer in the crew cab with the locations and everything. I guess, I'm an old Buffalo, but that's the 21st century. And me, I'm old school. Know your first response area. Okay, visually. Every time you're on the rig, you respond in hydrants, inspection. I know Louis didn't like BI, but if you're going out for the meal, whenever you're on the rig, know your response area. Know the buildings, which buildings for the engine. Is there a well stretch or any unique things? The SIDS information is so important. But you should know your first 2 boxes by memory. So a box comes in, the house watch reads off, box. What's going on. Your mind should already start thinking, okay, this is the time of day, where we're going to be going. So the more knowledge you can log into that memory bank, the better fireman you're going to be, in my eyes. So to me, that's important. I know it's been hit on a few other times. The other thing for truckies is search. And we used to always talk about aggressive search and stupid aggressive, and Eddie Garrity, God rest his soul, we used to talk about this all the time. And those are things that changed in firefighting when we went to bunker gear. Back before some of these new tools came out, you had your boots and your coats, and you're forcing the door the conventional way. By the time you got the door, the engine was right there on the line. But now, you put in bunker gear, hoods, thermal pane windows, rabbit tools. Trucks are getting into fire areas much faster than the conventional way. If there's a life condition, all bets are off. We're going, balls to the wall to save somebody's life. But what I want to pass on is just know where you are, you size up, even when you're in the building. Where's my second means of egress? If something happens, how am I getting out of here? So to me, that's real important. I could go on, but I'll leave it at that. But
Nice.
That's it.
Thank you, Cap.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Excellent job. Excellent.
Yeah. I
Thanks
can't
so
thank
much.
you
Really, I
guys
enjoyed
enough for giving me the opportunity to come on. It's really
It's our honor, really.
really, really enjoyable evening.
I'm glad
Even-
old man Hank introduced us.
Even when he shows up with the stuff he stole
That's
from the
some of
Del
my
Boca
gun.
Vista 4
Yeah.
o'clock special.
That's
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of my old Frank Mole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank
boy.
Malay.
Yeah.
Some of my gun.
He got it at the kitchen in the pool house. He
Yeah.
found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in the rec room.
Yeah.
I can't wait to join the gang. It's gonna be
He's priceless.
You got any
I
shout
do.
outs for
Yeah,
Potamus?
so just in case, this is actually a pretty touching story, actually. So I'm proud to say this. Peter, you got those pictures that I
I
sent?
do, bro. I'm
Please.
gonna pull them up real quick.
So Dan Potter had posted something on our fan page about FDNY Ladder 20 helmet that was on eBay for sale. It was, I think, from the 60s. And looking back, they were able to find a name on it, but not a full name. And as it turns out, it was owned by, let me get this straight here. Let me read. I noticed, this is from Dan Potter. I noticed this FDNY leather helmet on eBay for sale. Although it was most likely from the 60s, it got me thinking about Ladder 20 back in the day before the arson plague war years infected the Bronx. This area in Lower Manhattan, known today as Soho, was named Hell's 100 Acres by the Fire Commissioner Kavanaugh due to the numerous fires that had actually killed or seriously injured in the line of duty over numerous decades and frequent alarms and buildings, numerous firemen. Ladder 20 was the Gettin' Salty hotspot during that time. It was where the action was, the hotbed of fire activity in the many industrial sweatshops and small factories. Ladder 20 was the first new ladder to horrific. They were the first ladder company to the Triangle Street fire. So when you looked at the helmet, a few days later, he saw that this helmet was on thing, and the front piece had badge number 5551. And he looked into one of the pictures on the eBay. It said Firefighter J MCDON. So he actually looked this up, and he found out that the guy was an active Ladder 20 member, belonged to James McDonald, Fireman James McDonald, who made the supreme sacrifice as a covering captain in Ladder 42 in 1985. Inside the fire apartment, the ceiling was about to collapse. He actually pushed two firefighters out of harm's way, but he was trapped. He died days later after suffering burns over 65% of his body. A true hero. So after Dan had posted this, again, I don't know how this happened, but some of the brothers from Ladder 20 contacted the boss, and they were able to secure the helmet. They ended up buying the helmet. I don't know how they worked it out. And they contacted the family, and all parties decided to bring it back home to Lafayette Street, where it will live forever. So, again, gives me goosebumps. Thumbs up to the brothers, sisters. The tradition is there. You know what I mean? You take care of your own, even after all these years. This is not going to go sit somewhere, going to come back to the firehouse, especially for a line of duty guy. Many years later as a captain. So very heartwarming story. I was glad that the guys those are the types of things I want to see on that page. You know, that's what's important is keeping the tradition alive.
Dan Potter said that Ladder 20 brother noticed the post. So that's how I guess they
cheers to that guy, man. Yeah. God bless him.
Great story.
That's the most important part of the job right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's all I got.
All right. Once again, Cap, really appreciate it. When you come up to Rockville Center, give me a little jingle. Maybe we'll go out, tip the glass a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
10-4. You got it, Kev. Love to do it. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Make sure you bring us to the Del Boca Vista,
come on down.
I'll steal some inshore from Hank's house and cut some holes in his Depends,
I'm in on bingo night. I like bingo.
Yeah.
All right, Petey, bring us home, kid.
All right, cool. And I got 2 quick shout outs. One, our very own Susie in the chat. It's her birthday tonight. So happy birthday, Susie.
Happy birthday,
Shalom.
Susie.
Happy birthday. And I just wanted to say once again, guys, do us a favor. Go buy Tilly Geidel's book, 9/11 Through the Eyes of a Daughter. It's for a good charity. It's for a good cause. It's for first responders, widows, and children. And it's FDNY and other first responders as well. A lot of you guys have been purchasing the book. I've been noticing everyone posting it in the fan page. And I just wanted to put that out again myself because I think it's a cool person who's in the chat every single week.
She's awesome.
And she's fantastic. So support. She doesn't make a penny from it. Support.
Fantastic.
First responders, families. Who lost their loved ones, and that's all I wanted to say on that. Other than that, guys, you know the deal. Head on over to iTunes, Podcast, Spotify, or wherever fine audio podcasts are found, and you will have to go ahead and subscribe to us there. It's free. Why wouldn't you? When you're on the treadmill, working out, driving to your job, whatever, you can listen to the show. I'll be posting this episode in about the next half hour. But guys, if you find yourself on youtube.com/Gettin Salty Experience, take your filthy booger hook off the bang switch and hit the like, subscribe, and share button. YouTube is a finicky bitch. And if you tell it that you like us, it will go, wow, they really like this guy. And they'll show you more stuff and get us out there more, and we'll be able to produce more for you. Guys, I get a lot of questions all week long. Hey, what's going on the podcast? What's going to happen tonight? I'm not your personal guide to the podcast, but guess what is? Instagram @SaltyDog Inc., where you can find not only the coolest fire photos in the game, because Mr. Ruffy has an eye for this stuff, but he also posts all the show info. Hey, tonight we're talking to Captain Jim Graham because he's a freaking awesome dude. Tune in instead of yes, we're talking to Captain. I'm not. Google it.
Got no time.
You'll learn.
But at any rate, find all your info on @SaltyDog Inc. We love you guys, and that's where we post all that stuff. Also, guys, Getting Salty apparel. Come on, the Bronx Ben shirt is one of the coolest ones we have, all along with the first Do It Your Old Ladies box. The Warren Fuchs inspired Saddle Up shirt, which is another favorite of mine. I just wore that yesterday.
The new one just came in. The I fight fire, I drink beer, I know things.
Oh, I want that one. Hey, can I pick that up from you Saturday, dude? I want that one.
You can.
That's
all right. Guys, if you got a question for the show, email us at gettingsaltyexperience@gmail.com. Also, guys, the Getting Salty fans page, we don't run it, but boy, is it popping in there. Firefighter Central, man. If you guys like firefighting stuff, head on over there. Last but not least, guys, Coobs podcast @gmail.com is the email that you would email what, Coobs?
Pictures of your rig, fires that you've been to, a little explanation, anything interesting. Did you get the emails I sent you to?
I saw some pictures and stuff.
Good.
Yep.
All right.
Very good. So email Coobs there because we're putting together a new segment for you called Cup of Joe.
and some
And a little
fuego.
And
fuego.
some fuego.
Little fuego.
And if you want to talk about fuego, I put together kind of the fuego intro.
He did a great.
I like
Don't give it up. It's a great intro.
Yeah, I can't. I'm so psyched on that one. There's a lot of good stuff coming to the channel, you guys. We are moving as fast as we can. But like I said, if you guys like, subscribe, and share it to all this stuff, which is completely free, it helps move us along even faster, and we really appreciate it.
And the warm winter weather's coming up, and we're vaccinated, and we're ready to get on the road, right, Rafi? We're ready to
I'm
get
ready.
on the road.
I was born ready.
I'm not vaccinated yet, but I'm waiting to
Oh
get rid of
boy, it's gonna be masking, a double masking, Pete.
No. I'm getting rid of my.
I know,
I gotta get
I
rid of
know.
my antibodies first. You know, you can't do
Pittsburgh
it.
is off. Pittsburgh's the first show we're doing. Pittsburgh. I think it's June sometimes. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's
June
early
4th.
June. Yep,
June
early
4th.
June. Yep.
Yep, June 4th, Pittsburgh. Be there. Be square.
We'll be there to mess with you guys. Video, a few fun segments, talk some stuff. You know, all that great business. So, be there,
All right.
be square.
Awesome.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the
Excellent.
show.
Thanks, Petey.
Yeah,
Captain
brothers.
Jimmy Graham, thank you so much. It's been an honor.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me
It's an
come
honor,
on the
sir.
show. This was awesome.
All right, Ruffy.
Thank you for bringing me back to the firehouse kitchen, guys.
Yeah.
You have no idea. You know.
Very
you
enjoyable. You had a
Oh,
great
man.
career, man. You should be super proud. Really.
Absolutely, Cap. And like I told you, we look out for you. We look out for our own in the pre-show when we were talking. And I hope we honored you by doing the right thing by you tonight. So, cheers. Thanks for
You
coming
did.
on.
Thank you so much.
All right, fellas. We'll see you Monday night. Stay low and go.
All right, we'll see you at the big one.
Cheers, brothers.
Okay.